Welcome, everybody, to episode 10 of Heroes of Absalom, and we wish you all a happy holidays, whether you celebrate, whatever you celebrate, or don't. We hope that this season is filled with lots of love and warmth despite the circumstances, and we're so glad that you all decided to tune in to our little show here.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. Just a quick bit of announcements. We will not be streaming next Sunday due to the holiday season, but we will be starting back up in the new year, January 3rd. So that'll be January 3rd, Sunday, January 3rd.
Oh, wait, you gotta say the year. 2021. It sounds
2021.
So nice.
Give me
Sounds so nice.
Go to the next. Go next. Give me the next one.
We'll see you in a year and 2 weeks in 22. Thank you, everybody. No. So...
Wait, what?
No stream next week. No stream next week. Back on January 3rd, 2021. Also, if you haven't already, please go ahead and follow us on Twitch. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube. It helps us out a lot across all the different platforms.
And tell your friends.
And tell your friends.
Inform others. We need bring your friends to know our gospel.
Yes. So spread the good word.
If you have nerdy friends who like to do nerdy things, then send them our way.
If you have unnerdy friends who don't like nerdy things, convince them.
Then give them a swirly like
honestly,
they deserve.
They just haven't been exposed to true nerdiness.
And if you've got nerdy friends who don't like to do nerdy things, then I don't know what to say to people like that. I don't even know. Own yourself, you know? Like, respect your own choices and your own things, you know? Like, why hide? Why hide?
This has been Soapbox Hour with Jack Tarville.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
This is my bit.
Before we go any further, though, I believe, Ichi, you had something you wanted to ask?
Yeah, I had a question for everybody, okay? So,
Oh, I'm ready.
holiday season,
Yes.
I am the only woman in this group, and I am wondering, I know.
It's not cutting Jack, but...
I'm wondering if anybody else here likes, this is a stereotype, of course. Hallmark movies are aimed towards women. I'm wondering if anybody here has seen any Hallmark movies, / if you have any favorites.
I really don't. I wish I had an answer to this. I don't think I've ever finished a Hallmark holiday movie, and that is
never, not a single one.
I don't think I've ever finished one, and
I mean, they all have basically the same plot lines.
I'm gonna say I've never finished one. I've seen them all, but
I've seen the memes online about Hallmark movies.
I feel like I've seen. I feel like I could recite one because of the memes I've seen about them.
It's just like woman who's obsessed with her job, who doesn't believe in Christmas, meets a man who does, and then they fall.
Oh my goodness!
You forgot the small town log cabin.
There's one TikToker, Nikki Dubes, who does the character of the woman in the Hallmark movies. And
I have seen many Hallmark movies, which probably doesn't surprise anyone.
No, that was going to be my guess. If any of us had been, it was going to be great.
If anybody
I love Hallmark movies.
And then, because of Molly and his mom,
big family. Yeah.
Them, I don't know.
Great, do you have a favorite?
Will had never seen.
No, I mean, so I just want to talk about the thing about Hallmark movies. And the thing about Hallmark movies is that the thing that drives most pieces of entertainment in general is this notion of conflict that drives every book we watch, and Hallmark movies do not have conflict, or at least any serious conflict.
Neither do their TV shows either.
Which makes them excessively relaxing to watch, because there's this moment of conflict at the very end where they're like, my laptop, and then they find the laptop 5 minutes later, and it's that's the only conflict the whole time. So I don't even know if I could...
utopian society.
I don't know if I could even name...
I want to live there. Yeah.
I don't know if I could name a lot of Hallmark movies I've seen, and every year I watch a lot of them on Netflix.
Just The Christmas Prince. That's
and I
the
just,
only
oh,
one
I mean,
that
of course, but I just kind of absorb them, and then they just relax. If you just really don't want to deal with anything for an hour and a half, you just turn on one of those. It's incredible.
So, new stretch goal, we've got to purchase a cabin in the woods of New Hampshire in a small town with a lighthouse.
There must be a lighthouse.
There must be a lighthouse.
Speaking of which, The Lighthouse.
And
right?
Gray needs
Not
to
a Hallmark
organize.
movie,
Yeah, that's a very different movie, Jack.
not a Hallmark Christmas movie, but a very, very good movie.
Gray needs to organize a fundraising bake drive or something like that.
We'll ship you baked goods.
Yeah, for the children.
EG, do you have a favorite that you've seen?
I don't know if I have a favorite, but I've definitely seen The Christmas Prince like 4 times.
Wait, great. Name
I don't
one
know if it's
Hallmark
my
movie.
favorite, but like I've definitely accidentally seen it twice and then also watched it.
I don't even know if I could. I was trying to
Name
figure
one.
out the one.
Name one title of a Hallmark movie.
I only watched one this year, and it had Vanessa Hudgens in it. I was trying to figure out which one it was.
I need to watch
I was trying to figure out what the name of that one was. So I was Googling Vanessa Hudgens Netflix Hallmark movie. That's how unmemorable.
I didn't realize they made a new High School Musical.
High School Musical.
Do you guys like
Oh yeah, The
tradition?
Night Before Christmas with a K. Mm.
Oh yeah. No,
Oh
that's
my
an old
gosh,
movie.
I know what I'm watching.
It's questionable.
After this.
I thought that was an old movie, but maybe not. Do you guys like have a tradition of like watching movies with your family? That's not like a thing that my family does. We have plenty of other Christmas traditions, but we don't like sit around and watch particular movies or like even watch
Christmas
a movie
Eve.
about
So
Christmas.
I am from
every
a
year.
very, very large family. We have lots of Christmas traditions that we can't do this year, but we always watch a Muppet Christmas Carol at the very least.
Classic.
Normally
Good
we
movie.
watch Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown, and It's a Wonderful Life.
Also classic.
As well as Little Women occasionally. That's enough.
So you don't really sit around and watch movies with family. That's what you're
Just
saying,
Muppets Christmas Carol
don't watch
every
any
year,
movie.
definitely. And then-
EG, did you hear about the bad news of Charlie Brown? Did you hear this?
No, what?
The whole Charlie Brown special series was purchased by Apple, and it's gated behind Apple TV this year. They're not airing it for free on cable.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, so Charlie Brown is an Apple program now.
Wow, what a Disney
Oh,
move,
that's-
honestly.
That's
What a Disney move.
that's
It's
the
almost
worst.
like billionaire companies are too.
One of our one of our favorite podcasts, Troy is from the Glass Cannon podcast. He is devastated about this. He is very upset.
That's so that's dumb. That's just
And it's
dumb.
gonna be really bad when Charlie Brown pulls out his iPhone 12 to order the worst
Oh,
Christmas tree
God.
ever on Amazon. Like that's just gonna ruin the whole plot, you know? Like
That's the most
But it's
2020
Apple.
news.
It's gonna be when he upgrades his phone. That's what it is.
yeah.
But when he
yeah.
purchases the tinsel tree with Apple Pay, it's gonna be very smooth.
Speaking of
it's gonna be a
upgrades, hey
smooth
Will,
shopping
are we gonna
experience.
level up this episode?
Do you have Apple Pay?
I prepared a level
Is my
4
first
character.
question.
I'm willing
Because
to
I'm
pay
willing to
it.
sell it to you.
I'm willing
No.
to pay.
I bought you a lot of Christmas
I'll
gifts.
trade you my iPhone 11 for a lot.
All right. How about before we jump back into the hectic scenario at the Dragonfly Pagoda, why don't I take you back? All right. Why don't I take you to the mean streets of Absalom? The streets of the docks, to be specific. The entire dock district of Absalom is huge, encompassing the entire southern coast of the city. But this morning, the streets of the docks are clanging and bustling with the day's commerce. The scent of baking bread, gutters, and the brine of the ocean permeate the air. Store clerks are hollering and hucking their wares, pauper children begging on the street corners, and a murmur of excitement rapidly spreads through the crowds. The sounds of scattered laughter, hoots, and applause grow closer and closer. Suddenly, a flash of swirling purple fabric rolls across the lips of the alleyway landing, leaping high over the crowd of children and tumbling down a wagon ramp with perfect three-point landing. As children squeal and applaud in excitement, a young halfling stands and gives them a little bow before she twirls and dances on down the street. "Twinkletoes!" a dwarven woman calls out. The cascade of purple fabric whirls to a halt as a beaming face turned towards the woman.
You got a message?
The halfling called Twinkletoes asks. The dwarf passes over an order form, a vendor's address, and a couple copper coins. Twinkletoes notes the dwarven woman's name in the form's corner before stashing it and the coins in her satchel hanging around her waist, and then is off once again, smiling bright as ever. Her next stop, Alamore Manor, one of the several noble houses where she's been contracted to come at a scheduled time every day to be a courier should the need arise. She twirled into the gateway with a flourish and a smile, and was surprised by a lack of response. The doorman was not at his post. Twinkletoes drops her dramatic pose in annoyance. She never liked being delayed. Part of her reputation comes from her reliable expediency. After what feels like an eternity of waiting, she tests the doorknob, finding it unlocked, and she tiptoes into the entryway herself. Twinkletoes proceeds to the study, where the doorman would sometimes lead her when Feati Alumar had a parcel with particular instructions. Her footsteps silent as her movements devoid now of all flourish. As she approaches, she hears the low murmuring of hushed voices, at least two, coming from the slight crack of the study door left ajar. A chill of curiosity runs through her, the weight of the silence around her making the whispers from the room resound against her straining ears. Lady Sache's obstinance has become quite the thorn. She imprisoned 4 of our launderers this month alone, with no hope of springing them in sight. We'll just have to put a bounty on them in hopes that one of our operatives on the inside can silence them before they talk too much. Drawing even nearer, Twinkletoes peeks through the millimeter-wide crack between the door and its frame. She sees a half-brick-sized wooden box sitting in brown paper wrappings on a desk, the lid of the box tilted open on its hinges. She sees the figure move behind the desk, unwrapping a bundle of cloth in their hands, and a voice echoes to her. Getting her nephew back should make her more cooperative. Twinkletoes felt her heart drop into her stomach as she sees the figure remove what appears to be a severed human finger from the cloth and place it in the box on the desk. Twinkletoes, in a cold sweat, silently dashed back to the main door, blood pounding in her ears as the words and the sight of the severed digit spin in her head. Her feet slowed as she reached the gateway, her mind racing over what to do. If she ran and never came back to courier for the Lord Alumar, would he be suspicious? Would he just find another innocent child to carry these threats? The chill passed through Twinkletoes, and a resilience spread through her like fire. She forced her breath to even itself, turned and casually leaned against the gateway, steeling her nerves. A moment later, the doorman appears.
Oi! What took so long? I've got a schedule to keep.
Twinkletoes complained, making sure to leave a teasing twinkle in her eyes for the doorman to catch. He responds with a smirk. Apologies, Miss Twinkletoes. The master doesn't mean to be keeping you waiting. Your service is most appreciated.
Well, I hope you didn't keep me waiting for nothing,
she says, strolling up to him.
Got anything for me?
The doorman smiles and reaches inside of his coat. 1. To deliver to the brine. Twinkletoes swallowed hard as the doorman presented a parcel in brown wrappings, the same dimensions as the wooden box she'd seen in the study. Without a change of inflection, she asked.
Any special instructions?
He smirks. Make sure it arrives in one piece. And we return to our intrepid band of adventurers.
Ooh. Scary.
Interesting.
Continuing along their way, they continue to push through the resistance from the stone scale kobolds, those that had taken command and had barricaded themselves inside of the construction project ongoing at the Dragonfly Pagoda, taking with them some hostages from the work crew. Our intrepid group was tasked with finding these members of the work crew, as they were the last ones to know of the whereabouts of the 5 missing stonemasons from Minkai. They met with a more stalwart resistance as they enter into the temple proper, meeting a band of particularly powerful kobolds, one of whom even managed to lodge a great pick in the jaw of Shark Thorngrabber, putting him unconscious, inches away from death. But he was saved by the many healing powers of his friends. And so they subdued the group set before them. As two of them flee, they give chase before giving up, having seen that they've made it elsewhere before them. The group takes a moment to recollect, heal, and gain a bit more of a bearing on their surroundings before they continue on with the chase. Not before Shark, lagging behind the rest of the group, buries a dagger in the throat of the kobold who had nearly put him to death.
How could you have forgotten that happened?
Forgot.
They move on to the second floor of the Dragonfly Pagoda, entirely unfinished, save for one room, which, after some scouting, they enter. Seeing a large, unfinished room, the statue in the center resembling a massive, armored warrior, seeming to float above a stone pillar. Behind it, 3 mirrors, reflecting an infinite cascade of images of this stone warrior, making it seem like an endless expanse beyond. At the feet of this statue, 6 humanoid workers, bound and gagged, their eyes wide with fear, due to the number of kobolds that surround them. 2 of the kobolds holding daggers to the throats of 2 of the captives. They open the door to find this scene. One kobold standing out, this brilliant gold kobold that has gems encrusted on its face and jewelry and rings that are attached to its various horns. Holding a dagger to the throat of a Minkayan man, she exclaims in common, "If you all approach any closer, I will end them. I do not wish for more bloodshed. We merely wish to parley. Is this amenable to you?"
Yes, please. Please don't hurt them. We just want to talk. That's all we've ever wanted.
Good, good. You may enter, but only about, I'd say roughly 20 feet exactly, actually.
I check for traps as I move in.
Sure. You're at a plus
Oh,
5
there's
perception.
so many kobolds.
Bastro's gonna be next to the Dr. Forsyth, and he's gonna make sure he doesn't go closer than 20 feet.
So normally I wouldn't do this for secret checks, but I think it's nice to reward players when they roll a natural 20. So Twickletoes rolled a natural 20 on her perception. Again, this would normally be a secret check, meaning that I would roll it and give her the result without giving her the number that she rolled, since she is checking for traps. But in this case, like I said, I'd like to reward you for your natural 20. You are so very confident that the kobolds in this room did not set up traps. You see nothing.
All right. It's safe. Let's go.
As you enter, you see a group of 5 kobolds off to the south. One of them in the center of this huddle, on the ground bleeding, as the other 4 attempts to bandage them back up from their wounds.
Well, they go away.
Now,
Shark bears his teeth at that one.
that is far enough.
Hold on. Bastro, do you think you could help him? Heal him up a bit?
If they allowed me to come
Stay
closer,
there.
but
We have it under control.
Oh, all right. Sorry.
I appreciate your hospitality. But
All we want is for the safety of everyone in this room.
then
Where are
we
the hostages, Will?
there are 6 of them. They encompass, I apologize, I don't have hostage tokens.
Are they like here?
But they are in a square, or I should say a rectangle, along in front of the, I'll draw it here in a second. Draw shape. They encompass these 6 squares here. One in each square. The 2 kobolds occupying that space are standing over, holding up the heads of 2 of the hostages, daggers to the throat.
Yeah, okay.
Gotcha.
She says, "You all must be very formidable warriors, from what my friend Tiktal tells me here. And she gestures with the point of the knife towards the kobold actively bleeding on the ground. And the fact that you made it past Rekorek. As such, I think we have a lot to gain, as I do not wish the deaths of any of my people. You do not wish the deaths of these people. That is, I think, something that we can agree on.
Absolutely.
Now, what is it that the Minkayans have told you about this little situation we have here?
They said you took a bunch of hostages and that you boarded up the whole building.
Well, sort of. That's a part of what they told us. They told us that 5 members of the Minkai went missing, and so a few of the members of your tribe were hired as replacements. And once that happened, well, they said that you sort of kidnapped people and started fighting them and kicked them out.
We're also told that your requests and your demands have been, let us use inconsistent as the best term to describe them.
Yes, what even is a helicopter? Apparently you wanted one to get away.
Perhaps if you were a little more agreeable with your captain's superiors, then everyone could walk away here with a bit more safety.
So you're saying you don't have the 2 helicopters and the 4 large supreme pizzas?
Well, Dr. Forsyth, did you bring the pizzas? I did tell you to bring the pizzas.
Dr. Forsyth, you brought the pizzas.
I only have 1 pizza with left beef only. That's the only pizza I have.
What happened to the other pizza, Dr. Forsyth?
Where are the other 3 pizzas?
I simply cannot accept left beef only.
The doctor
absurd.
looks over at Shark and he's got cheese all over his mouth.
No,
I don't know what happened to it.
She says,
Number draws asleep. Time to fight.
She says, well, the hostages portion is correct. And yes, we were hired after apparently some of their other workers didn't show up for work. And they've been behind for months on their schedule. But we were just looking for a bit of coin, so we decided to join the workforce. They were eager enough to find more able bodies.
So what changed?
Well, we've been working here for about 2 weeks now. But you see, I came to find out, after glancing upon some of their ledgers, that each of us was only being paid about a quarter of what the human workers were. Yet we worked more hours, and yet we did the same work. And so you see, we decided to gain some bargaining chips.
Unfair pay is no justification for murder.
Yes.
Kidnapping.
Well, hold on. First, I would like to say that you were absolutely wronged here, and that you should be treated like every other person and be paid just like every other person.
Well, thank you.
However,
I'm starting to think that might not be true. Perhaps they belong in prison. But
Yeah,
anyway,
you were paid unfairly, but this is absurd. You are holding someone at knife point right now.
yes,
and you're telling us the
I
reason
was
you did that.
getting to that, Dr. Forsyth.
The doctor is
Just
enraged. The doctor is
just
enraged
because-
right now.
Just because
Release those people from knife point right now.
Penumbra, would you mind taking Dr. Forsyth back out of the room for a moment while
No.
He'll let me touch him, or will
we-
he be worried about my divine hands?
Wait, hold on. No, the doctor is not going anywhere. He has his bow drawn and is not happy in the situation at all. He tried to talk at the start and got fucking blown up. He wants these people dead. They're threatening people with knives, and they're saying because they weren't being paid equally. That's fine. This is totally an unjust response.
I'm with Dr.
Release those
Forsyth.
people now.
To the doctor's point, my scaled friend, it might be best for us all to drop weapons from innocent throats.
I thought we were engaging in a parley, and yet here you come, throwing
Most
threats
parleys.
around without letting us tell our parts.
Most parleys I've
Told us the
do not
reason
involve
that-
knives at throats of innocent people. Perhaps we can just be a little more relaxed in this.
Your part is saying that you were paid unfairly, so you're kidnapping and murdering people in response?
Well, the deaths of those workers were regrettable, I agree. Unfortunately, Rekorek doesn't understand the concept of hostages.
But you must, I assume.
I do, which is why I'm ensuring the safety of what people I have left with
I'm
them.
not sure
you
that they
hold
feel
knife to
very
the
safe
throats?
right now. If you'd like to separate yourself from the criminal that you say committed these crimes in the eyes of the law, perhaps you might give us a reason to defend you.
You can take her. She's yours. I have disavowed her, and she's welcome to be taken to your systems of justice. All I ask,
Who? What?
Rekorek, she carries a large pick.
Well, we've already dispatched
See-
of her. We'll be taking them into custody for sure. But
No, what we're saying is that we will. I'm sure Rakarek will be imprisoned for what she's done. If you would like
Yes,
to not
surely.
also be imprisoned for what you are currently doing, we would really suggest that you stop what you're doing.
distance yourself from the crimes that were committed.
I'm not suggesting, I'm commanding that you do that.
Just surrender peacefully, and this all can all
Dr.
be
Forsyth, roll an intimidation check.
Okay?
Can I roll a diplomacy check?
Can I aid either one of those?
Sure, pick one.
Shark
And
is
yes,
I'm
simply-
gonna aid his intimidation.
Shark is simply salivating.
I do not aid.
That's a 7 intimidate.
I'm gonna go with the intimidate. Oh, I ate.
Got it to a 9.
Twinkle Toes,
Intimidate.
diplomacy.
8 intimidate.
I've got an 18 diplomacy.
I rolled a 21
Okay.
intimidate.
She
Yeah, you should have
says,
just intimidated separately.
she says,
Rawr.
allow me to make one last attempt at diplomacy. We will happily walk away from here, give you back full control of everything, as long as the Minkayans agree to give us back pay. That's all we want. You can have everybody back, safe and sound. You may take the kobolds downstairs. Put them before your courts and your trials. I
That's
managed to
good.
save these 6 from Rakarek when she went on a rampage, claiming she would become the next great kobold war chief. I brought them here, again, understanding the value of hostages.
Bastar's gonna lean into Twinkle Toes' ear, and he's just gonna whisper, "Just tell them whatever they want to hear." And once they come outside, it's the town guards who have to deal with them. And
Alright.
our job is just to make sure the hostages are okay.
Oh.
We cannot make any promises about what happens legally after this, but we will do our best to make sure that those demands are met.
Perhaps
Absolutely.
if you would give us time to reconvene with our Minkayan employers, we might give you a more
Our
straight
Minkayan
answer.
employers told us to do everything we could to secure these hostages, so I'm sure they would agree to give you back pay equal to that of everybody else who works the same job.
And if not, I'm sure Dr. Forsyth is good for it.
Yes.
He's had a very
Here's a lot of
successful
money.
practice.
And on my word, I promise that no harm will come to these 6 souls.
Why was this never discussed with them? They said they've made attempts to talk. Why have you not talked to them already?
Because
We tried, but then
Then Ragnarok.
Rakarek took over the lower levels, killing 4 of the workers. I managed to bring these kobolds up here with the 6 remaining.
May I ask, was Rakarek one of the hired hands?
Yes.
How? Okay.
All of the kobolds here were hired as part of the work crew. But unfortunately, Rakarek got ahead of herself, and her warriors followed in her bloodlust.
What's your name?
Who are you again?
She gives a bow and says, "My name is Scarix, Dragon Mage of the Stone Scale Tribe."
Can I do a recall
Can you
knowledge
spell
on that?
Scarix?
Skerix. Anyone who wishes to know more can attempt a society check.
That's my best check.
Natural one.
Your society.
14.
Well,
Oh, hey, Will.
Yes.
Question.
Yes.
Did I get an extra hero point for that intro?
I rolled
What?
17 society.
Yes, you do.
I got an 18 society.
I got 14.
Sure. What are you guys looking to know?
Is this person like from here? Do they have any sort of renown? Like, are they known to be like what's their character if they are from here? Like what?
I mean, you're not familiar with the name Skerix in particular. You're familiar with the Stone Scale Tribe. We've kind of already gone over the symbiotic relationship between the kobold tribes and the city proper, and how they maintain the sewers from various bugs and nasties. This person is a dragon mage, which is essentially their version of arcane casters.
Okay.
They tend to be more learned. They tend to be the essentially kind of the liaisons between the tribes and the various government authorities that they deal with, because they tend to have better understanding of common and better understanding of human culture. They're more learned, more read, and they have a decent amount of sway within their tribes, although depending on the tribe, there could be a kind of more warlike leader. There could be an intellectual leader like this, or there could be a religious leader. You're not too sure about the Stone Scales in particular. They're not necessarily a massive tribe. They're one of the smaller kobold tribes that live under Absalom. This person definitely seems to be, to your understanding, somebody of authority. But you're also not surprised that there was kind of a conflict between kind of the warrior caste and the, laborer / magic caste when all of this went down.
Is it possible to also do a sense motive on what they were saying?
I literally just rolled that. I rolled a 13 perception to sense the.
Yeah, you
motive of
can
this
go ahead and roll
person.
it.
Did I do that as
that-
well?
Yeah, that's just perception, right?
Yeah, let me get one more besides Shark and Forsyth.
Oh, baby, that is a 25.
Whoop.
Twinkle Toes, what did you get?
I rolled a 5.
A 5?
So
So
didn't even add my bonus.
Twinkle Toes and Shark, you're both
Oh, 10.
really kind of just unfamiliar. Whereas there's a lot of subtext, right, that comes through with facial expressions and body language, emotive, or personality tics. You all are just not familiar enough with kobolds. Dr. Forsyth, I can only imagine that you've seen a number of kobolds in your practice and have had a lot more association with kobolds during your various medical rounds, wherever you've been.
He's been around the block.
Yeah.
I think you also don't you run a kobold clinic, an exclusively kobold clinic on the weekends? Isn't that like your volunteer hours?
Kobold charity.
But
It's charity work,
you're
yeah.
more familiar with the mannerisms, the actions, the kind of subtext, because you have to be able to read your patients. You can tell that Skerix is putting on the best brave face that she can, but she is scared of you all. She's not weak in and of herself, but you all plowed through the warriors of her tribe, and she's just genuinely concerned for the people that she has around her. When she mentioned the concern for her tribe, there definitely seemed to be like a very big pull there. There's something there that she is fighting for, and she's using whatever she can at this point just to keep him safe. That's why she keeps fighting you. She's holding on to the one bargaining chip that she has.
Yeah. The doctor's gonna. He still has his bow drawn. He still does not like any of this situation.
What do you propose our next moves are? How would you like for us to proceed as a group?
Are you talking to Scarix?
Scarix, yeah.
She says, take the time that you need. Talk to your Menkayan employers. Bring her here.
Might I suggest something?
Well,
Scarix?
hold on. How will you guarantee the safety of these 6 people right here? Will we take them with us?
No. We'll hold them here and we will keep them safe.
Well, that was
I can assure
precisely
you.
going to be my suggestion, to Twinkletoes' point. We need some sort of demonstration of good faith here, that you are going to be good to your word. If you would perhaps release some of them, we can heal your injured friend. You release some of them, and we can go talk and try to resolve this without any more bloodshed than has already been shed because of your doing, I will add.
Perhaps we could take these 6 of your people hostage, and then we could do a switcheroo of
Shock,
sorts.
that is not helpful.
Forsyth, roll a diplomacy.
I thought the switcheroo idea was pretty
Can
good.
I aid that?
Sure.
Okay.
These human folk and the kobolds don't understand a good goblin switcheroo shot.
I don't know, a classic
I
6 for 6
I did that.
switcheroo. I mean, it doesn't make sense
It's
that
a
they...
staple of what we would known.
Are they not trained in goblin negotiations? Because, I mean,
Apparently not.
this is like preschool.
I don't think they've seen the play.
It's just
This
like
was not a part of the Pumpkin and the Ghost.
It's similar to some sections. There's parts of it that are reminiscent.
It's a reference loosely as a cultural phenomenon.
But if Forsyth were to ever see the play, he would
I
know
rolled
it
a
was 6 for 6
A 12?
and the ghost and the pumpkin. That's ridiculous.
She turns to the side, and if those of you who speak Draconic, you hear her say, let this one go. They can have this one. And the kobold next to her pulls the dagger away, helps the woman to her feet, and kind of gently nudges her towards you all. She runs to, Twinkletoes in the front, and kind of like sidesteps around behind you, and just like inserts herself in the middle of the 4 of you, Twinkletoes, Bastro, Forsyth, and Shark, just kind of like trying to cower at any possible amount behind the 2 small figures in front of her.
Oh yeah.
She is unharmed, to the best of your knowledge. She is scared, obviously scared.
Best of our knowledge, we have 2 doctors. I think we have the best.
If
knowledge.
either of them would like to actually make an attempt at deciphering the medical condition of this person, they can roll a medicine.
I'll do a medicine check.
But there are no visible markings, bruises, cuts.
17 medicine check.
She, like, you ask her how she's doing. She says fine. You look at her. She doesn't appear to be bruised, broken, cut
Turn
at
and
all.
cough. Wait! Oh god! You said this is a woman. Oops. Never mind. Take that back.
That kobold clinic is really hurting for good staffing. That's what I'm hearing.
The doctor's gonna look over to Bastro and say, Bastro, would you feel comfortable healing the injured kobold if Scarix would allow it?
Only if she allows it, but...
It's fine. We
Suddenly
will take
the
care of our own.
Divine healing.
All right.
Scarix, let me ask you something. Would you be willing to denounce the actions of the warrior, your warriors, since they acted out of turn?
I have. You may take them to your law authorities.
Okay, can we have the injured one as well then, since he's one of those warriors?
The one that you were looking at that is injured does not appear to be the same type.
Oh.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, it's not the one that got away.
It is the one that got away.
Oh, but
But
it's like...
they
Then
look
it was
to be
down there fighting us.
Yeah,
they were like
It's one of the warriors that probably
Man,
killed some of the workers.
all of these kobolds are a part of it.
I'm
so
sorry if you
I
all
don't
can't
think
tell
we should make
kobolds
it.
apart.
We'll just, once we get to Nuremberg, we'll just like deal with it then. Like that's what we're talking about. Like it's war crimes versus like war criminals. So like I don't know if that's for other people to worry about. But
Yeah, that's true. I guess.
Perhaps
think
me
it's
perhaps
just
me and
that we
Bear will stay
report
here.
Rakarek to the authorities.
Perhaps the doctor should stay to monitor her condition. And what if the goblins, Shock and myself, head downstairs, grab a couple of Minkai representatives, and come up here for some proper negotiations?
I think
May I-
that would be a splendid idea.
Sure, if that is how you wish to proceed.
Delightful. Shock, shall we?
All right. And Shark turns and walks down.
Yeah, we walk down the stairs. I'm assuming we get to the same bottom level,
Yeah.
unaccosted.
Yeah.
Penumbra will peek his head into the room.
Roll a perception check.
Actually, hey, the doctor wants to go out with you and like accompany the hostage and like make sure she's okay. So I think actually the doctor will join you two if that's okay.
So just Bastro and Twinkletoes.
That's
Are we
fine.
taking a hostage?
No.
I thought we were leaving everyone here and just getting
No,
No, the hostage that they
We have a
released.
hostage that we need to take out of this building.
because they're hurt. Yeah, okay, yeah. All
They're not
so
hurt, but-
No,
The-
because we need to get the hostage out of the building.
Yeah, get them out. Doesn't matter if they're hurt. We need to get
this,
them out.
this is a human. Okay.
Yeah, the
Yes.
worker. Yeah.
Again,
Yeah, yeah.
she's not
A couple
hurt,
of
but
plans were going back and forth.
Is she hurt?
But the doctor won't leave yet. He'll ask Bastro and Twinkletoes. He'll say, "Would you two be comfortable here alone, or?"
I believe two level-headed characters or people should definitely stay here.
I believe that
All right,
Erik and I are
send
about
me
to
and
become
Dr.
very good
Forsyth.
friends.
All right. So
We
the
discuss all this.
hearing their votes of confidence, the doctor will escort the worker who was just released with the two goblins.
okay.
Three of us and a stranger are heading downstairs.
Okay.
And I'm
Once
looking.
Dr. Forsyth leaves the room, I turn to Bastro and I'm like, he is such an asshole sometimes.
He's just stressed. You know, he got a boiling water sprayed on him before we even
Yeah,
entered.
but like
so
that was she didn't do that. Like
well, her tribe did. So
some people in her tribe, one person's actions do not reflect on their entire people.
let's just be glad that he's not here to incite any more violence. You know, I was a little nervous with his bow cocked the whole time, but
No,
He
honestly,
stayed
just
true.
chill, you know. Just-
Especially when he pointed it at my head.
Penumbra, what did you roll in that perception?
You are not in the room with us.
So I rolled
Said
I rolled a 15 perception on the room where Shark committed this crime, and I'm looking specifically at the
You
body.
know nothing, Jon Snow.
I'm looking at this body to make sure that he's okay.
You're looking at the body. You see that there is a pool of blood on the ground. Without getting up to it, you wouldn't be able to tell why. It stands to reason that
I will walk up to it. Is there
Okay.
is Shark's knife in her neck?
if you inspect the body, you
Why would I
see
leave the knife?
a very clear slash mark in the neck. Would you like to roll a medicine check?
well, the doctor's with him
Fine.
right now.
I mean,
so-
I'm right there. I'm right
Flat
there.
check.
Also, we made sure that all of those kobolds weren't bleeding out before we left. So
Yeah,
Pool of blood
it's
a little-
Killed
What I'm trying to get at here is that Penumbra is not enough, without rolling the check, is not skilled enough in medicine to understand.
17 medicine. Does
From
it
a
look like
distance.
someone else killed?
Yes.
I will walk straight up to it. I am.
It looks like there was a very deliberate slash across the neck with a bladed weapon that killed this kobold.
I'm going to take one of the bladed weapons that we were keeping in the back, and I'm going to put a bunch of the kobold's blood on it. I'm going to make it appear that weapon was used to slash that kobold's neck.
Penumbra, what are you doing?
Just let me protect my.
I mean, the CSI report's gonna come back pretty weird, but you know.
And he will put the sword next to one of the other fallen kobolds.
The doctor's gonna look at Shark and say, "Shark, when we were in this room,
Shark kept walking. Shark didn't stop. What?
oh, he didn't stop. Oh,
Shark
okay,
was
Shark
leading the
didn't
four of us and just kept walking. He doesn't care. Yeah.
stop. Okay,
The shark is probably like 20 feet ahead of you now.
okay. Well, the Forsyth will just give a very disapproving look at Penumbra and keep walking.
If anyone asks Dr. Forsyth, the kobold was killed in friendly fire. That's what you saw. That's what I saw. No one else saw any better.
Could you specify exactly what weapon and where you are placing it for me?
What weapons did we get? What weapons were they using?
You're the one who's taking notes, right?
I am opening the loot sheet. Okay, there were...
Just a bunch of short swords, right?
There was a hatchet, right? Or was it... Yeah. No, you know what? It's the spear. Whatever one of the spears they were using.
Okay.
That's what they were using in that room, right? A couple of the
Spear
spears.
and hatchet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spears. Yeah. Okay.
So when the spear points will be like a little bit of blood on it, and then you'll kind of put it like near the pile, sort of, to make it look like we're still stacking it up. But like we can reasonably say that blood was on that thing, and I'm going to caution the shark to clean his knife a little better.
So Dr. Forsyth, you are privy to that process. Shark, Penumbra, and Forsyth catch up with you back at the front red wooden gateway or arch that originally led up into the room with the two fountains, the dragon-headed fountains. They catch back up to you at the entrance here. You still see this crowd of various people. It's not as heated anymore because they all watched you go in. They are all looks like nervously waiting for your return. And when they see you, you're immediately bombarded by shouts and questions like, "What happened? What happened in there? Is everyone all right? Where's the other two? Are you okay?"
Everyone, please calm down.
Yeah, the doctor this whole time is just trying to keep people away from the worker who is just now escaping.
Yeah, and you hear shouts like, Leslie, you're okay!" As she's walking back with you all.
A mob of people from making her feel claustrophobic.
Where is Alma?
Alma, she's still seated at the bench. You kind of briefly saw her head in hands, resting on her knees on the same bench you left her at. But upon hearing the commotion, she perks up, sees you all coming, and quickly parts through the crowd to get back up to you.
I think the number will usher Leslie to reunite with Alma. Yes, this is you're safe now. It's time for you to return.
And Alma does "Oh, thank the gods!" Oh, and does a quick once over of her. "Are you all right?" And she pawns her off to one of the other official looking Minkayan as she addresses you all. How did it go? What's the situation?
It's still going. We are in...
It went really well.
But we are making some fantastic progress. The story is one of the Stone Skin clans, I suppose captains or generals or military leaders, went a little bit rogue. And the Archmage, their leader, did not condone these activities, did not support them, and it seems as though things have gotten a bit out of hand for them. They're willing to negotiate, they're willing to return the hostages. Simply what they're asking for is equal pay to what the Minkayan workers would have received on the same job.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Perception? Okay.
Yeah.
Perception.
10.
And any of those of you who are in that conversation are more than welcome to do that.
I'll roll perception. 21.
Okay.
Oh, 27.
You see this
Plus 8 perception.
Penumbra is the only one who doesn't see it because he's blind to human emotion.
I can't see it all.
No, he's blind to all emotion.
Just all emotion. In this case, it happens to be human emotion.
No, that too.
But Shark and Dr. Forsyth, you see this wave of frustration kind of wash over her face for an instant. And she kind of pulls out a little leather-bound notebook from her satchel and kind of flips through it. You hear her muttering under her breath in Minkayan. It sounds almost like she's counting as she taps her quill against the paper, rhythmically counting in her head. She says, "Fine, all right, if that's what it takes." And they'll leave then.
Well, yes, but and now it sounds to me like you're a bit of a racist. So I'm not so much a fan of either party in this situation.
This is absurd. Why were you paying them so much less than the other workers?
How about...
The doctor is just incensed by this whole situation.
How about I give you all 100 gold when this is over? And we'll leave it at that.
No, I mean, that sounds like a good deal to me.
That's quite satisfactory.
No,
Sounds good. Everyone here, I think we're all in agreement.
I will happily
Yeah,
take that.
the three of us seem to be in an agreement that that is a satisfactory
You
deal.
are...
Leslie, how do you feel about that? Leslie?
Leslie's
walking
crying
up
in a
the
corner.
I believe Leslie is in favor of that as well.
Leslie is in
That's
as
full
well.
votes
yes.
for that.
She's just like
Oh,
sobbing,
oh,
hair over
yes.
her face, and you just see tiny little like sob nodding.
4 for yes, 0 for no. It's looking very good. Yeah.
Amber will like softly kind of like turn his head and shoulder towards Dr. Forsyth to kind of like sidebar and say, "No, yes, of course, this is an incorrect thing that have happened. This is wrong. This is despicable. But we are not some enforcers of liberty here. We are not any kind of organization that's responsible for this. Think of the good we could do for ourselves and for those we could help with 100 gold from this organization. Think of the big picture."
I ask you again, why were you paying these people so much less?
Shark turns and says 200 gold.
Look, we were already on a tight schedule, and they had a poor negotiation. I mean, you don't just pay everyone the same amount, you pay each to their own ability.
And every kobold has the ability of 1/4 of a Minkai.
They came on contract to me. I did not make the contract. Alright? If you want to discuss unequal pay, you can talk to Jeremy Hoff. He's the one who gave the contract to me.
Jeremy Hoff.
I think we should derail this whole adventure and go on and become a law firm in favor of the underrepresented in this city.
Yes, Forsyth Starbear Thorn Grabber.
You give us the 100 gold for dealing with your situation that you caused.
200. I think we agreed on 200, did we not, brother?
100 gold.
I
You
never
give us
asked
100
the kobolds to take over the place. I was paying them what my contract told me to pay them.
Do you want these workers back? Give us 100 gold and give us some sort of assurance we can give them that you will pay them.
Yes! We agree! I don't know why you're yelling at me.
300 gold pieces.
Yes.
We're in agreement, yeah.
We receive 300 to pay the kobolds back pay, and then we still report it to the authorities, and you go down. That's easy. Easily done.
I think it sounds great.
So are we just trusting that, okay, they say yes now? Like, what? This is so absurd to me.
Wait, what do you want?
We
A check?
are getting bribed, and we are okay with that. That's what's
I
happening.
am not.
We are
Dr.
being
Forsyth's
bribed.
not. Dr. Forsyth's not. Dr.
I
Forsyth's
don't want to be okay with it. That's not a cool thing to do. Like,
Dr.
again,
Forsyth's just...
think of the good we could do with 100 gold.
Oh, no.
To a
I
bunch of
know.
other people.
I want the gold. My character doesn't want the gold.
By the way,
I...
if you happen to find a golden locket,
We keep it.
I would appreciate if you would return it. It is a personal...
Is it worth about 300
effect.
gold pieces to you?
So 600 gold at this point.
So
Alright,
600 total.
The last
Oh,
thing that I have from one of the workers who went missing. It was a gift.
All right, 250 then. That's very.
I think, all right, I think that our conversation's gone on long enough. Is there anything else that we want to do here before we just walk back and we can cut scene to see what Bastro and
To be
Twinkle
clear,
Toes are doing?
the party is being paid 100 gold to shut up. The kobolds will receive their back pay and where they will pay it. The Minkai will pay it both as wages and basically as ransom now to receive everybody back in one piece. That's what's going to happen.
That is
That's
your
what-
understanding of
That
what
is
has
what's
been
been agreed
discussed.
to. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Oh, that is our understanding. Okay, so what?
That
Okay.
and both parties apparently want to just leave after the transaction. The kobolds want gone. The Minkaians want them
Well, so,
gone.
like, my whole
after the
thing is
transaction.
we asked the kobolds to give a hostage as showing that they were serious. These people aren't giving anything. Like, what the heck?
Well, it's like,
Are
do
the
you want
people-
They're coming with us, I believe.
do you want the gold? Like, maybe we could you give us the gold that we could then deliver to
We
them?
had said that the Minkai would come up and negotiate this in person, and we'd just bring Amma with us.
Yeah.
Alma will
Yeah,
not go,
okay.
but she
Someone.
brings forward
Yeah.
two of the other Minkaian officials. She asks you to wait about 5 minutes.
Leslie was actually their prime negotiator. She's going back in.
All right. I know it's been rough, but you gotta put on a good face and go back in.
Fourth quarter, you're in.
Poor Leslie.
You got 2 minutes on the clock. We're down 6, so you can do it, bud.
I want to know what's happening back up with the kobolds and Twinkle and Bastard.
All right.
Yeah, so she gives you the 2 officials, gives 2 chests, one to you, one to the officials of the respective gold, and a written contract to be signed, is essentially explaining that both parties will part ways without further reprisal against either party, kobold or hostage included, for the amount specified, so on and so forth, and she asks you to get this signed for her records. With that, we cut back to the top room. Bastro and Twinkletoes, what are y'all doing? It's been about, you've got about 10, 12 minutes here.
I imagine that at this point, Scarix is like sitting down in the spot where Leslie was.
Scarix has not moved.
Applesauce across from Twinkletoes.
Okay.
And they're just like talking about like, and Scarix is just like ranting to Twinkletoes about all of the oppression that she's faced.
So that
Twinkletoes is just like therapy listening.
while holding a knife to the throat of human.
Okay. Sounds
But that,
correct.
yeah.
Bastard wants to talk to Scarix. So let me ask you something. You want your back pay, which I totally understand. You're underpaid and you feel cheated. But how are you going to respond for the dead workers that were killed by your kobolds under your authority? I mean, you know that the outside people are going to be extremely upset over those fallen workers.
I agree. And that's why any punishment that is dealt to be due to be dealt may be done so against Rakarek and her gang.
But they were under your authority, so ultimately you're the one responsible for those deceased workers. Don't you think you're going to get in trouble with the law?
I never ordered anyone to murder anyone else.
I just think one hostage isn't enough. You know, maybe two
And
more
yet,
hostages.
I saved 6. Here.
Saved.
Saved.
You have a knife to their throat. Doesn't seem safe.
While you continue.
And yet, here they are, perfectly healthy.
Speaking does not cost anything, but I don't think this situation's going to play out as well as you think. But I'm here just to make sure that the other 5 human workers are safe. So as long as I would prefer you lower the knife, but as long as you don't act with it, that's okay with me. Ambassador's just gonna kind of like grumpily stand there next to Twinkletoes or behind Twinkletoes.
Unfortunately, that's somewhat like asking your chess opponent to knock over their king because you find it inconvenient that they're playing you. I can't just give up my stake for the sake of my people. But
We would never expect you to. However, the sort of immediate threat of the knife at the throat, which just seems a bit much for those 2 of us here. We can't take all of you.
Yes, I'm taking precautions, as your group has shown a proclivity.
My weapons are away.
I don't even have weapons.
Yeah, that's true.
And we've gone this entire time without killing any humans. And we will continue that as long as your end of the
I got
bargain
my
is
2
held.
weapons right here.
I understand where you're coming from. I just feel like it's a bit much, and it's going to be very traumatizing for this poor person. What's your name, by the way? I'm so sorry that this is I addressed to the person who is currently.
Steve?
Steve?
We're gonna get you out of here, Steve. Just remain calm.
Steve,
They don't
you're all going to
translate.
be okay.
They don't translate.
Yeah.
They don't translate.
How's the injured kobold doing? Has he been healed yet?
It seems like, despite the fact that you can obviously tell that it is a rudimentary attempt, he appears to be stable, no longer bleeding. Now, Scarix, over the course of this, says, you talk so much of recompense, of of getting the justice that is deserved.
I do?
No, this
I
one.
do.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But you
Yes.
seem to not understand that my tribe has already given much for the people of Absalom, without them even realizing. They don't mind the hordes of undead that walked through the sewers when they had their large walls around them during the siege. No, the sewers were our problem. And the entrances had no walls. They minded not the undead that roam the sewers to this day. The aftermath of this whispering tyrant army.
We actually just yesterday killed like 6 of those, by the way.
And after 2 years of hiding behind their walls, letting us bear the brunt of wave after wave after wave of undead. Now, my tribe is battered, broken. Not even a quarter of the size that it was before the siege. And we have not the money to pay for the supplies we need to rebuild. So do you see now why it is so crucial to me that we make this money doing what we thought was honest labor?
Yes?
I see now. Hearing about that, it's a sad story. And I'm fiddling the smallest violin right now.
Yes,
But,
this is super awkward now. Yeah.
But I don't think taking it out on innocent workers will get
Well,
you the
we never
money.
planned to kill them.
Bastard. I think Ragnarok, what's the face, was the one who like actually is the
Her
did
face.
the kidnapping.
I mean,
I don't
I
think
guess started the
Amber's
killing.
idea.
but,
Well, no, if we want to get technical, I had the idea about kidnapping and bargaining for the money.
Gavrix!
But I wasn't planning on killing
Scabrix.
anybody. And then Ragnarok
Scabrix.
went and just murdered 4 people, trying to
You
gain
were the
honor
one
and glory.
Gavrix, I thought you were better than that. You
Look.
were the one. I thought you told me that Ragnarok was the one that did all of that. You did that?
No, Ragnarok did the killing. I just did the hostage taking.
No, but that's not okay either, Scarix. I thought you said Ragnarok did that.
Well,
Can I roll a diplomacy check to like demoralize or something?
To make them feel bad.
To make him feel bad.
Guilt trip.
Guilt trip.
sure.
I'm gonna aid that. I'm gonna aid that.
D20 for guilt trip. Yeah.
Oh, guys, 17. I don't think that aids.
7. But with diplomacy, that's a 14 total. I don't know.
When desperate times call for desperate measures.
I don't know. All I know is that it seems like you guys are the bad ones here. You incite this violence, whether it's kidnapping
Hold on.
killing.
Bad is a very, very strong word to use right now.
What would you use? Inconsiderate?
Well, I think that the kobolds here have been through a lot, and they're trying to deal with it the best way that they can with the things that they have at their disposal. And I don't think that all of the choices made along the way, particularly the kidnapping, Scarix. Honestly, I don't think the choices were the best. I think it could have been handled much more civilly. I think he could have had conversations before resorting to violence.
We tried. I asked. I was denied many times. Over the course of 2 weeks.
Denied by who? Like, who did you try to see?
I spoke to every foreman. Spoke to the architects. I spoke to Alma herself.
So,
All claiming that the contract was legally binding. That it was not their fault we made a bad deal.
And who made this contract? Was it you?
Well,
I signed it, but I
Did you read it?
assumed that it was equal pay. I thought that was the job. And then I come to
So-
find out that every other worker, be they human or dwarf,
I
Halfling.
completely understand. You were robbed here. Absolutely. Have you heard of something called a strike? Where you just don't go to work instead?
Oh, we tried that. Here, and she like counts off in Draconic, 1, 2, 3, and then all of the kobolds like snap up, and in accented common, they all like chant, "Merc, merc, equal pay or we won't work."
So that
I love
is
it.
that is
It fell on deaf ears.
yeah. I understand that. The thing is, if you don't work for them, like just I understand, just like trying to find other jobs is hard, but
Then we wouldn't get
obviously-
paid at all,
I understand.
and my tribe continues to die.
I just have one more question. How much is this back pay that you're owed?
About 75 gold.
It's a lot more than I have.
Are we back at this point?
Yeah, how long has it been by now?
And you hear about 75 gold as you walk in.
How was were you guys able to grab someone to come up here?
Yeah, we were just gonna push the guy forward. I assume it was a guy. I think
Yeah.
it was a guy.
He holds out.
kick him.
He holds out a paper, the contract to Skerix. She like hands the hostage that she has to the kobold next to her. Kobold next to her, knife to the neck. She pulls out a crude quill, reads through it. She gets like a little eyeglass as she like squints to try to read the
Is
common.
it gold? Does it match your scales?
It doesn't. It's a corroded brass, very poor quality, but it's what she's got.
So cute.
And she like reads through the contract, muttering in Draconic under her breath, and then eventually, after about a minute, signs it at the bottom, like throws the contract at the dude, grabs the box, and then like says, "All right, we're going," and then like very, very skeptically, just kind of like slowly, the group of kobolds walk through the door and will attempt to get to the steps, leaving the hostages there.
Bastard goes to untie the hostages. I believe they're
Twinkle
tied.
toes
right?
immediately helps.
They
Yeah, the doctor's
they
gonna
were bound and
check
gagged.
for,
Yeah.
like wounds and stuff.
Yeah,
Go ahead and roll
mid-
a medicine.
I'll roll that too.
Oh,
Oh, 22.
Yeah, I only got an 8. So I think the doctor's just so incensed at the situation that he's like, his head's elsewhere.
Yeah, you just can't really focus on any of the patients. You keep like looking back and forth, going over the same patient, the same arm multiple times without realizing it. Bastro has a bit more of a clear head on him. You know, like the last one you looked at, they're not injured. They seem to be in fine health.
Just a little traumatized.
They are definitely scared. Probably some of them are in shock. But otherwise physically unharmed.
Bastard's gonna be like, "It's okay, you guys. It's okay. It's all over now. You're all safe." And he's gonna help them up one by one, lead them to the door. Before Bastard leaves, can you roll perception in that room just to see if anything else is
Sure.
like there?
Is the
That's 19.
Minkayan person still here also?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a 19, by the way.
I turn to the Minkayan person, and I tell him every little bit of information that we gathered, from that, like exactly like the steps of like what happened behind the scenes that Skerix told
Okay.
us, including the fact that Skerix is the one who incited the rebellion. In detail, no empathy towards anything, just as like rattling off the details.
Strange question. Which one of you has the highest intelligence score or modifier?
Me,
It's
Gotta be.
oh, me and Doctor.
yeah. I think
probably.
Bastard and I both have the same, probably.
Could I get both of you to roll me a society check?
Sure.
Do you both have 18s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a 16 intelligence if I can get in on this.
Just two.
Dirty
Nice.
20.
Smart party, by the
All right,
way.
he got it. I got like a 11.
Doctor, I don't know if this tempers your anger, but as you're thinking through and listening to Twinkletoes ramble this off, you've you've worked in Absalom, like officially, legally, with a permit, running a practice. As you're kind of rehashing the situation, listening to Twinkletoes go back over it, you realize that it is very explicitly illegal what the Minkayans have been doing, with paying one ancestry a significant portion lower for the same work.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It is explicitly illegal.
The doctor is mad at every single person in this situation, and that's why I asked if the Minkayan person was still there, because I want to yell at them before they leave.
Okay. Baster, what did you roll on that perception check?
I rolled a 19.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's much here outside of what looked to be like a pile of rations and provisions that had been stockpiled in this room for the kobolds as well as the hostages. I mean, they all left with their personal belongings, obviously.
Right.
Outside of that, it just looks to be like supplies, like they were ready for maybe another half of a day of this. At most.
Can I roll one more check, a recall knowledge check on that floating stone armor? Or
Sure.
How you described it? Yeah.
That's going to be another society.
Okay. Natural 1. I don't know anything.
You've got a hero point.
I'm not using it for that.
Oh, also, I didn't hear if you answered, Will. Did I get another hero point for the intro?
Oh, I said yes.
Oh,
The
okay.
answer should have been hell yes, because that was a dank intro.
We co-wrote it.
Hank.
So you get half of a hero point. You can only use it to change a
That rounds up. Nope,
natural
that rounds
10
up.
or higher.
Round up.
It rounds up.
Pathfinder actually explicitly rounds down except for cantrips and focus spells, and this is neither of those.
This is definitely a cantrip.
And half of hero points. I read that. That's in the advanced player's guide, actually.
Yeah.
Baster, unfortunately, you're not too familiar with what's going on here.
Yep. All right. Yeah, Baster's gonna stay with the doctor. I think he sees that the doctor's a little angry, looking at the Mankind.
So the official who had not presented the contract and the kobolds with their chest turns to Dr. Forsyth and hands him a slightly larger chest.
The doctor does not take it. He actually, so Twinkletoes is talking to one of them, and this one approaches me. Is that
correct?
there are two of
Twinkletoes
them?
is the
Okay,
one who presented the contract. He's still holding the contract.
I didn't realize there were two.
Yeah.
So the doctor, he sees them like trying to take out a chest. The doctor will unsheath the great pick that he has, and he's gonna hold it and say, "Do you see what this is? The violent kobold who murdered workers under your workers. That happened because of your ridiculous notion of paying people less simply because of you're taking advantage of people. That's on you. Their deaths are on you. I hope you seriously consider this the next time you decide to take advantage over anybody for any reason."
Well,
And the doctor storms out before even hearing a response.
Okay.
He's so pissed at everyone in this situation.
Baster's gonna take that chest.
Wait, hold on. Aren't we getting paid by somebody else to do this?
Well, whatever chest that was being presented to Dr. Forsyth, Baster will accept it.
What?
Oh, I actually had a question about this. Yeah, were we getting paid, like, we're getting paid by someone officially, and then this 100 gold is hush money. Those are separate things, right?
So Isabella never mentioned explicit payment, first of all.
Yeah.
Oh.
The
Okay,
Minkayans
okay.
were just, they were
Second of all, you all were raising concerns of legal issues, and
Sure.
just to
I
shut
just
you up,
couldn't remember
almost
if
just
we were
like,
gonna get paid.
Yeah.
how about
This is
100
like a-
gold? You
The
know?
100 is dead.
How about we're
explicitly
cool
hush
at
money.
100 gold?
Yeah.
Yeah, the doctor doesn't even touch the chest. He's gone.
The man holding the chest kind of just stands there, looks down at the chest, looks up to the next closest person, who is Twinkletoes, walks over. Here you are. Your payment.
What is this for?
The work that you did here, and the fact that you did it discreetly.
Discreet isn't really something I'm about, so no thank you. I walk out.
Penumbra takes the frickin' chest.
He'll turn to the goblins and say,
The goblins will grab the chest.
We walk out arm in arm, one hand on each
I
hand.
hope
with the chest
you
skipping.
understand.
Singing the overture of the Ghost in the Pumpkin.
He turns to the goblins and he says, as he's handing it over, I hope you understand the implication or the implied contract that comes with this.
We want no more to hear from any of you. You have incensed most of our party members, and you are a disgrace to our city. Please keep what you're doing hushed. We will do the same. Never speak to us again.
Enjoy your gold. And he turns and walks to the statue.
I hate that fucking guy.
Bastard's gonna catch up to Twinkle Toes and be like, "We're definitely telling Isabella like what happened here, right? Like,
Oh,
This was
absolutely.
the whole thing, regardless
I've got the
of
whole
whatever
thing stored right
else
up
was
here.
promised."
Yep.
All right, I
So,
agree.
small point of order. Your point here was not necessarily, as far as Isabella is concerned, your point wasn't necessarily to resolve the hostage crisis, but more so to find out what the hostages knew about the people who went missing.
Oh,
Oh, I totally forgot that. Okay.
We leave,
I'm
and
gonna
we
go
don't
talk
look
to-
back.
I'm gonna go talk to Leslie.
Yeah, we go.
Leslie and
Yeah.
Steve.
Go find
I'm
Leslie.
gonna go find Leslie and Steve.
Pull
Leslie
yourself
and Steve.
together!
Just want to make that one explicitly clear before we leave
Yeah,
without
thank
doing
you
the
for
thing.
that reminder. Yep.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
We would certainly not have done the thing. So let's go ahead and do the thing. Is Leslie like captaining the hostages? Like, are they all together?
They're all sitting in the back of an ambulance with white blankets over their backs and little
Yeah.
warm mugs of hot cocoa.
Yeah.
No, I mean they are kind of like powwowed. They've brought out like some awnings, some like tarp awnings that they've set up in the kind of grassy park around the exterior here. They've set up like a makeshift lounge where they've brought out like, rugs, and they've set up like a small fire for them. Like, it's not really cold. It's, early fall. But they're just like doing what they can to comfort the people who are taken. You see that Alma and some of the other officials are there. Most of the crowd is dispersed now. They've essentially, you hear as you're coming out, one of the groups talking. It's like, I will start work back up in the morning. Right now, they just need to clear everything out, get ready for work tomorrow, kind of deal. And it looks like the Minkayan kind of delegation is now huddled around this small collection of these tarp lean-tos that have been set up with these carpets and rugs that have been laid out, and this little mini campsite. What would you all like to do?
Start interrogating. We'll start getting some
I would like to
cross-referencing.
sit down across from Leslie and Steve and say, "Hey, so how are you guys doing?"
We're glad to be out of that. Yeah,
I know how traumatic and terrifying that must have been for you, and I'm so sorry, but we do have some questions that we need to ask you. That was
sure.
actually the whole point of why we were sent here. We weren't supposed to be doing a rescue mission. We were just supposed to be trying to talk to you.
And as you...
That's not to say we didn't want to rescue you. That was, of course,
Yeah.
priority number
No,
one.
but
It's
that
just
wasn't
taking-
why we were originally.
And as-
of course we were going to.
And as you're saying
We
that,
were on the fence about it.
you
but
all
we
look
eventually
around.
settled on saving you.
you look around and see that from the entrance, a number of the kobolds are being dragged out by some of the workers, and being piled, not unceremoniously, but laid out on the opposite side of the park.
The deceased kobolds, you mean? You're referring to?
The unconscious
Not-
ones.
You're right.
Yeah, there's only one deceased.
And the one deceased.
But you do see that there is a body that is carried out on a stretcher that appears to have a sheet over it.
Penumbra is nervously watching the carry.
Twinkle Toes
that
sees that,
sheet.
and her heart drops.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bastard's confused. Like he doesn't
I bet
remember.
all 5 of us see that being like,
We-
what?
Bastard's like, wait, what happened to this one? We didn't kill any
We
kobolds.
we
Why
made
is there-
sure that we didn't kill anyone.
Of course.
Leslie
Yeah,
continues, I'm happy to help in any way that I can. I'm not sure what more I can really tell you.
Do Do you have any names or any?
It actually doesn't have to do with this in particular.
Oh.
We were asked to find out what you knew about the 5 members of the Minkai who went missing.
Yeah, I do. They were, they were on our shift before the kobolds came in. What did you want to know?
Do you have any idea what might have happened to them? Why them specifically? Anything you might use to help us in our... We are working with an organization or a team of people to find them, and any information that you might have would be extremely helpful to our investigation.
Well, before they disappeared, the night before they disappeared, we were working a shift together, and I heard 2 of them talking as we were leaving the site. They were saying something about the housing that we were being provided. Well, it was a bit bleak, to be honest. The apartments were not the best, but they were talking about finding somewhere else to stay for a bit. I think one of them said something about a Mr. Hoff that they talked to, who could find them
Jeremy Hoff.
cheap but nicer lodging. That's unfortunately all I really know.
It's not usually a good sign when we get the same name twice in one investigation.
No, it's not.
Penumbra, by the way, has been, he's got like a pad of paper out and a quill, and he has, what everyone assumes, been taking notes on what's going on, but he's just drawing goblin pictograms. Like, can I read what I wrote? Who knows? We'll find out once I try to, but if Twinkletoes looks over, it is not legible handwriting.
Twinkletoes doesn't mean that.
It's like the same drawing that's on your body, like tatted on your body.
It's just pictures of bears. And
Twinkletoes is very, very confident in her memory.
It's the same S that we all drew in middle school, but like 13 times over.
Oh my god, wait, the one with the 3 lines?
Yeah. It's just like 12 of those that make a bigger S.
Could I do my pursue a lead on that name, Will?
Sure.
Pursue
Could you,
pursue it.
just for those of us who might not remember, because I mean, I know everything that is in that text, but if you could just quickly remind those of us who don't about it, that'd be great.
Sure. So this is an investigator class ability. It's a class ability. It's only an exploration mode, so it does not affect any sort of encounter.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is encounter mode. You're actually in initiative against
God.
Leslie. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
If I spend a minute examining a potential clue or one subject as the target of my active investigation, it can be a single creature, an item, a location, or GM discretion.
Sure.
I don't need to know the identity, purpose, or nature of whatever I'm pursuing. I just need to be aware of its existence and have some sort of clue.
Sure.
So whenever I attempt a perception check or skill check specifically investigating the subject of my pursue a lead, I get a +1 circumstance bonus on the check. Yeah, that's it. So it's just a way to get a +1 bonus on skill checks relating to a certain subject.
This specific thing is why I wanted to play an investigator for this campaign so badly.
It's a pretty cool class ability.
It's so cool.
There haven't been a ton of opportunities for me to use it yet, so I'm very excited that we're starting
I'm
to
really
get
glad that we
pile of
have something for you to really investigate. Like,
We've been in 2 straight dungeons, so here we are.
Yeah, so I'd say between the 2 conversations that you had, both of the times, like the first time you didn't really think anything of it, but he like Penumbra said, the second time you hear it, that's when the gears start turning, you know.
Yeah.
So you're able to.
His ears prick up, and like in his anger, he sort of like comes
Yeah.
out of it for a second and starts really listening to what she's saying.
Yeah, and then that's when your investigative mind really begins to start honing in on all of the possible angles
It's
that
when the pipe and the tweed hat go on. And
Yes.
you start wandering around alleyways, thinking to yourself, postulating.
And as Dr. Forsyth begins pursuing his lead, that is where we're going to take a break. So we'll see everybody back here
Oh!
at
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go. You can't leave.
8:50. So 14-minute break, 8:50
Hey,
p.m.
oh,
Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Also,
Go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right. So I've got two things to say. And normally, right, I wouldn't do this. I would...
Oh.
Oh, 2 seconds here. Sorry about that.
The suspense is
We
killing.
seem to have switched places. But I've got two things to say, right? And I normally wouldn't do this. But I will admit, for the first time
Okay.
What'd you
ever,
mess up?
that I made a mistake. I don't normally do this because I don't normally make mistakes. But...
And you never admit it when you do.
Yeah, this is a big moment, not only as the GM, but just for Will.
Get called out.
As like a part.
I actually kid. Will is very, very, very good about.
Yeah, you do the honorable thing, and then we shit on you. Yeah, you suck.
Never mind, you don't
I
get
love
the
you
gold that I was
so
going to give
much.
you.
The worst.
I take it all back. I have nothing else to say. You also don't level up to level 2. No, so I gave you what was in the book for the payoff, right? If you mention any of the illegal practices, right? Alma's like, hey, between friends, right? Here's 100 gold. But these books are written for groups of 5. Or, excuse me, groups of 4. 4 players. We have a group of
Okay.
5.
Oh.
And as much
Sweet.
as I love keeping my players as underpowered as possible, you all actually got 125 gold as part of that payoff.
So we each get 25 gold instead
Because
of
if anything, Amma is known for making sure every single person gets paid their due.
And that's the only thing anybody knows about her. And the Minkai delegation in this town in general. Equal pay for shutting up about not equal work.
Oh, yikers.
Uh,
She like flags us down as we're walking away. She's like, I forgot.
Just tosses it.
Oh, I didn't realize there were 5 of you.
she just
She only does that when we have a knife at one of her friends' throats. And like, oh, you know what? I forgot.
That's right.
she
There
chucks
was 25
2.5 platinum pieces straight at Penumbra's forehead. It's not even a full platinum. It's a platinum that's been bent and broken in
Broken
half.
in half, yeah. Sawn in half.
Reflex save or die.
Also, number 2, and again, I don't normally do this,
Okay.
but for successfully saving the hostages from that situation, you are all now level 2. Officially level 2. Now, just for what it's
That's
worth,
enormous.
all right, you're not going to gain all of the benefits from level 2 until you take a full night's rest.
Oh, Will, we're all already asleep. We're sleeping
Shark
right
passes out in the middle. of the street.
I'm not going to let you get off that easy. Not
Unconscious.
not gonna let you get off that easy. But as we jump back in here, I want to just do a little round table, get a feel, a sense for what you guys are most excited about getting at level 2. So we're gonna start with Eeny Meeny Miny Shark.
And we should probably go over like what leveling up means in general as well.
Yeah. So
Sure.
I mean, 2e makes it a little easier. It's pretty condensed, and then you get like these minor level ups and bigger level ups where you get ability score. So pretty minor level altogether. You get a like a feat for your class, which I'll reveal. It's going to come up very soon, and it's fun to do in the game. I get a couple of extra formulas, so I can make some new stuff, some new alchemical stuff. And I get a skill feat, which are some of the most useless things in the game.
Oh,
You're clearly
Don't
taking
say
all
that.
three.
You're taking the worst ones.
you've
I guess.
obviously never read through the general feats.
They're all very bad. There are
The skill feats suck.
So
They're
I
all-
should say this,
they're all
right?
feats that are useful, and then everything else is.
You're all delusional.
Listen.
It's battle
No.
medicine, and then everything.
No. Hold
It's
up.
battle medicine, it's
Skill
battle
feats
medicine.
are fantastic for
Yeah,
fleshing
I
out
don't know.
character detail.
I don't know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
I'm not saying I dislike skill feats. I'm just saying it's never
Maybe
going to matter that
because
Shark's
I
better
and
at.
Grace have
Make-
so many skill feats naturally that
Mechanically,
I
skill
like,
feats are not very impactful, and I get that's like the point, right? Like,
No,
they're-
mechanics.
But they make you
they're
really good at a
meant to
specific
be-
situation.
Yeah, I disagree entirely with that
I
statement.
disagree too. Yep.
The boosts they give are
I have a
underwhelming.
character. I have a character that is entirely centered around one singular skill feat. That's like his whole, the whole thing does not work. If
Have you heard of
he does not
assurance?
have a skill feat.
I love assurance. That's the
Yeah,
Uh,
I love assurance. Assurance is the only reason my character.
Let's have this
I took
conversation at like
assurance.
level 9 when we're all like scrounging for skill feats to use, when we can like barely even find a good one.
So,
I'm just saying.
for a base-
I looked through the list for a long time. They're pretty much all underwhelming. It's okay though.
For a baseline reference, when you level up, you gain more hit points, and leveling up is just kind of like a milestone kind of progression of characters getting stronger as they do more and more stuff and defeat better foes, so on and so forth. In 2nd edition Pathfinder, they've kind of simplified it down to a couple of categories. So you get your health, which is determined by your class. You get more HP. You get feats at various levels, and feats are split into
And
3 categories.
Different kinds of feats. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's general feats, which are just general purpose things that let you do something. There are skill feats, which lets you use one of the skills, say medicine, for example, or nature, and they give you something else you can do or make you better at that skill. And then there are class feats, which is where the real meat of your character comes from. As you get class feats, you can do more and more things as a alchemist, as a swashbuckler, that are like bigger, better swashbuckler or alchemist things to do. And they generally tend to build off of each other and get better and better as you level up. And then if you're like a caster, for instance, you get access to more and higher level spells. So, leveling up is always fun because you get new stuff to do. So
Heck yeah.
Shark got some stuff. What about Twinkle Toes? What are you looking forward to?
One last thing about
So-
leveling up in general.
Oh.
Sorry, but like proficiencies are a huge part of
yes.
the second edition
yes.
style. So when we talk about all these things we're rolling and these modifiers and everything, they are attached to like ability scores about us. But then there is a thing called proficiency in this, which determines a lot of the numbers. Proficiency is calculated with a certain number base and then and added to your level. So obviously, if your level goes up, you get like 1 point better at everything that you do. So.
Yep.
Literally everything. Yeah.
As long as you're
saves,
proficient.
everything.
Everything that you're
Saving throws.
proficient in.
Proficient skills, armor class, to hit, attack rolls, spell attack rolls. Keeping in mind that everything will also get better, like based on the game that where you're fighting. So like it's not like we're just going to start blowing things out of the water, but numbers will start to get higher, and it'll be much more exciting once we start rolling like 30s and 35s.
But I'm not missing something. We don't really get any proficiency too, right? That's part of the bigger
generally that doesn't start happening until like 3, 4, 5.
3, 4,
You
5.
don't get additional proficiencies, just the number that is attached to your proficiencies.
Yeah, your
increases by
proficiency
1.
bonus goes up.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Twinkle Toes, what you
Yeah,
got down the pipe for level 2?
So I took assurance in acrobatics, and I took, instead of a class feat, I took an archetype.
Are you gonna
nice.
reveal the archetype, or are you gonna hold that one in your pocket?
I think I'm gonna hold that one.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna hold that one. in my pocket.
Wait,
That's-
that gets me so excited.
That's spicy.
Awesome.
That's spicy.
Do you want to walk us through what archetypes are generally?
Do you want to take
I
it?
don't know if I'm the best
Okay.
person to.
So archetypes.
I
Do
took an archetype. I could talk about him.
you want to go? Go for it.
So I took an archetype. So you can take them as replacements for class feats, and it's Pathfinder 2e's version of multiclassing. So multiclassing from other RPGs is different than how Pathfinder 2nd Edition does it. You don't just take levels in other classes; you dedicate feats to an archetype. So they replace the class feats that Will said are like the meat of what you get at a level up. You take archetypes, and archetypes have lists of class feats that you can get at specific levels for that specific archetype. So it allows you to like diversify what your character can do. So for
So
example,
some archetypes that you take will be the other classes. Like you could take a swashbuckler archetype, but there are other more specific things like I can't think of
like
any
the
off the top of my
defender
head, but
and like the berserker
and like pirate and
very
very
niche stuff.
yes, just ways to make a very specific vision for what your character is.
There's one called the Ritualist where you just get really into performing rituals on people. Like it's
And
it's,
the
it's
blessed
very
one,
out
which
there.
is just like you are chosen by a god, like and you become their like
That's the one that Dr. Forsyth, right? So great, the
Yeah,
one.
so I took the god related one. No, I took the medic archetype.
Yeah, medic.
So
There it is.
instead of getting a second level investigator feat, I took the medic archetype, which gives me so many cool things. It allows my my battle medicine and treat wounds to do just more flat healing, and then if there's like a threshold, if I decide to roll instead of using assurance, if I roll like higher and higher and higher, the benefit gets better and better and better. And it's a flat DC, so it doesn't go up with levels. So eventually, I will just be able to reach those DCs as we level up, and our proficiencies keep going up.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool way to
I
set that up.
instantly become an expert in medicine, so my medicine
At level
goes
2?
up to expert in
Wow,
medicine.
that's really early.
Wow.
Archetypes are bananas.
Wow.
They're very, very strong. Unlike skill feats, they're actually useful in the game.
Y'all are just sour on skill feats. Don't get to mine. I'm very excited.
I literally just read
Jack's
through
just a
every skill feat. They're all weak.
We've still got like 30 splat books.
Is right.
Again, there are like 6 good ones, and then the rest of them are
We've still got like 30
But you
splash
can
books in the
as
future
many
for this game. So
garbage.
So then I also investigators at second level, and then every level thereafter get a skill increase.
Oh, wow.
So I'm now also expert in society, which
Assurance
is
is the
exciting.
best skill feat.
And then I got a skill feat, and it's literally the most perfect skill feat for my character. It's called Godless Healing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect. And
Not your
Oh my god, no. I don't have
it
one.
gives battle medicine or treat wounds that I use on myself additional healing. So I'm really good at patching myself up.
Oh, okay, cool.
And
Nice,
the reason
dude.
it's really good is it unlocks a bunch of other skill feats that I can then help other people with, but I got to take this one first, so it only helps me.
Gotta look out for number 1, right? You gotta look out for number 1 first, and then you can start.
for all those times that Xavier just goes unconscious, now he's ready.
Yeah. All those hit points he's losing.
It'll
Penumbra.
be very useful later. Yeah.
Penumbra, what you got?
Penumbra Starbear did not take an archetype. He is going to continue his Oracle track. Some cool things. I got my first Oracle feat because casters don't get feats at level 1 because, of course, they don't.
They get spells.
Spells, yeah. I did get an additional spell slot, or I will eventually get an additional spell slot, and a new spell, which I will not reveal. And I actually, I switched out one of my other first level spells, which is anytime you get a level or anytime you gain new spells, you can also swap one of your old ones. So I actually have 2 new spells, and I lost one of my old ones. The class feat I took is called Reach Spell, where if I spend an additional action casting my spell, it has an additional range of 30 feet. So all those delicious touch spells that I'm too far away to do anything with, they go to 30 feet range, and I now have a use for my third action on turns where I want to
Touch you with my
mind.
mind.
Woo!
It's just a really good class. It's a really solid feat overall. It's really, really good. Penumbra is also he also has resistance to all physical damage. I don't know if I've ever actually shared this with everybody. As part of the Cosmos mystery, my body is as much an astronomical one as it is physical.
Oh wait, you're being serious?
I'm so
Yes.
serious. I have.
He is
resistance.
serious.
I thought this was a meme.
No,
I'm
he
very
started
serious.
with DR.
I have resistance
What?
2 plus half my level against all.
Wait, what?
physical damage.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a tough boy.
Holy
And since
crap.
my level,
Or are you a tough boy or are you a translucent boy? Like
I'm a very ethereal.
He's a
boy.
floaty boy.
I'm a very
He's-
floaty boy.
he's a half here, half not.
He's a star boy.
boy.
So my physical resistance went from 2
He's a
to
star
3.
boy,
I'm
yes.
a
He's
star boy.
a star boy.
I'm a so physical resistance 3 now. I resist all physical damage.
Should I wait?
Wait.
But the question is, should I edit your artwork to make you slightly translucent?
Please.
If anything, you should make him more floaty, like his clothes
I
are
am-
lifting
Okay,
off
that's
of
fully-
him.
everything like
I
slightly
am fully
lifting off
present.
of him.
I exist on
Yes.
the plane. I also took a skill feat that sucks. No, I actually took a really good one.
What is it?
Intimidating glare.
Yeah, see, that's so
Oh, that's
good!
a good one. Yeah, that's a great one.
Intimidating glare is stupid.
Gray, you have lost the right to an opinion on Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
Another use of my third actions on turns, I can start making intimidate checks whether or not I speak a common language with the creature, which usually you can't do that because
So big.
they don't understand you, but now I'm super scary looking.
You can literally give them a dirty eye and make them scared of
It's
you.
like-
Yeah, if only there was a
Why, but,
language
like,
on
not
Galarian
magic.
that was common to most people that were going to be.
Well,
The
now
ironic
we
thing
know
about
on animals
common-
and undead.
Oh man, only there
Is that
was.
it's not actually that common.
Gray,
But he can You can make it to like animals too, though, can't you?
Yeah.
Anything
yeah,
that can
It's
see
like-
him.
It's basically
yeah.
like Evil Eye, but not magical.
Yeah.
Right.
Or like, kobolds that don't speak common. So, I mean,
Oh, some of them do.
Probably useful. Right. But
Bastro!
now it just doesn't matter. That's the whole point.
Bastro, what you get a level
Bell
2?
Torin. He's casting 2 new spells now. I'll leave that for a surprise. But his witch feat that he gets now is going to involve a lot more magical healing. Dr. Forsyth, watch out. Also gives me an additional spell, so that's pretty cool. But the skill feat that I took, which I'm most excited for, is the trick magic item skill feat, which basically lets me dabble in all 4 types of magic. So I'll get to roll a check if I want to say I have like an arcane scroll. Like I'm a divine caster, so I normally wouldn't be able to use that scroll. But with this trick magic item, I could roll a DC flat check to actually activate that scroll and use it. So now, since I'm trained in all 4 different spell types, I have access to all 4 different kinds of magic.
Awesome.
It's a great skill feat. I don't know why people are.
And that's a
Grant?
yeah. Say it again for those in the back. A skill feat.
I'm turning the coat here, Greg. Skill feats might
What
be.
was
Skill
the
feats
name
might
of
be
that
great.
one again?
It's called trick magic item.
Oh yes, I saw that. Okay.
Yeah.
I will say again though,
great.
we're gonna get to like 8th or 9th level, and we're just gonna like be
So
running out of
more
uses.
spells, more magic healing, and I basically have access to every type of spell.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big.
Oh yeah, well I can use society instead of diplomacy to gather information now. So like,
Whoa!
Blow
you
me out
guys
of the
are
water.
so.
I looked at that
smart.
one too, and then I realized that my society and my diplomacy are the same.
Then I realized skill feats suck. That's what happened to me.
Man, to be playing a marshal. I mean, come on.
I'm not playing a marshal. I mean, I'm playing half marshal.
Eh. Either way, we return back to the trauma tent that has been set out in front of the dragon. Yes, the Dragonfly Pagoda. In the aftermath of the hostage situation that has now been resolved, you learned that 2 things. One, that the contract for the kobold workers was basically agreed upon via a third party, a go-between, a middleman, one might say, by the name of German Hoff. The second time you heard this name was when Leslie mentioned that this group of people, at least 2 of them that went missing, were talking about speaking to this German Hoff about an alternative lodging situation, since the bunks that they were in were, to their opinion, subpar. This is where Dr. Xavier Forsyth begins the active investigation of the lead on the name of German Hoff.
What had we heard about Jeremy Hoff the first time?
That was when basically Penumbra, Xavier, and Shark were grilling Amma about why she wasn't paying them. And she said, well, they signed a contract.
Gotcha.
I got the contract from Jeremy Hoff.
Yeah.
I'm paying them what I was
Gotcha.
contracted to pay
If
them.
you have beef, go talk to him. I'm
Yeah.
kind of hunting into my.
Like, yes, it's illegal for them to be doing it, but like, she has a contract that says we're gonna pay the kobolds this much for doing this work.
Ben, is an illegal contract
Dude,
relevant in a court of law, or is that null and void?
oh my god. Offer acceptance consideration more than a peppercorn. Oh god, it's the worst. Literally.
Ben is currently mired in his loss.
That didn't sound like real legalese, but I'm sure it is.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
No, it is. Literally, the phrase "more than a peppercorn" is a legal way to think about. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So sorry. But this is where we pick back up as Dr. Xavier Forsyth has a brain blast and begins pursuing this lead. What would you all like to do? Leslie's like, that's all I got. I really don't know. What would you all like to do? You've been paid, at least by this party, by Amma. What's the next plan? What's the next step?
Ben,
I'll go to bed.
What's your first
Well,
move, Dr. Xavier?
First,
What time is it?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
It's about 1 in the afternoon.
I actually, we can't do anything else that might be combat before I rest because I'm out of spells. So
I'm also still drained.
Yeah,
we
I'm still. Oh, yeah, you're still drained.
Maybe
I
we
am
should
too.
go back to
Oh,
that bar
shit.
that we met Isabella.
Drained?
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
We should like, regroup with Isabella.
Yeah,
rest,
no joke. We should rest.
Yeah.
I want to be very clear. Dr. Xavier Forsyth does not take 25 gold.
Sweet.
It
I'll
hurt.
take it.
I'll take it.
It
I'll
hurt.
take it.
It hurts Ben to
The
say
party is
that,
devastated.
but yeah, Doctor, he like
Oh.
whenever we're passing out the gold, whoever's doing it, Dr. Xavier Forsyth just does not take it.
Currently,
And
Penumbra has the
what,
chest. I mean, Penumbra, of course, Penumbra would get the chest. What would you like to do with it?
I mean, he'll start divvying it out. He's apparently, people keep frowning at him whenever he doesn't tell people they've gotten golds, so he's going to do that.
Twinkle Toes will take it from Penumbra.
The
There's
chest
not
or
much
the
to do.
25 gold that you're due?
25. The 25.
Well, now wouldn't it be higher now since Dr. Forsyth is giving
Just
up?
put
his
it in
wheel
a-
there?
Put it in a rainy day fund.
31.25.
Let's put it in like a party fund.
What was it there, Benji?
Put it in IRA for later.
31.25.
Okay, so I get an extra
31.25.
I get an extra 6.25. Okay.
Are we actually splitting it up?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Add 6.25 more.
Usually at lower
what-
levels,
what-
it's fine.
What about all that stuff that's piled up? All those like things that used to belong to.
As of right now, you see that it is being confiscated and sorted by the workers who are trying to clean up.
Right. So I can delete this from like our loot shit. We don't
Leave
get
it.
If you want to make a case for it, you're more than
can-
welcome to try.
It would just involve too much selling.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much you'd honestly get for shoddy condition short swords and spears anyway. So.
Although we are keeping the great pick though, right?
Did we find that locket?
We never really looked for it.
I think we did. Didn't we find it in like a lockbox somewhere?
Let me check my my inventory.
I don't care
have it.
about her or her locket.
I do not have it.
Away.
I don't have a lot.
You did find a locket. It was in the
Oh,
lockbox in the administrative office.
That's
She
what I
can
thought.
she can go find that. I don't really care about that.
You all
That's-
took it.
We
Who
took it.
picked it up? Did I pick it up? I don't have it in my inventory.
You all
Good, I'm
did
not-
take it.
Actually,
That sounds like a Twinkle Toes thing.
that's still like a Twinkle Toes thing to take that.
Yeah, that sounds like a Twinkle Toes thing. So,
That sound like a
do you like return it and get the reward?
But
I don't
Twinkle
know
Toes
about
was
it.
not privy to the conversation about the locket.
We
Oh
would
yeah,
have
she
told
wasn't
her.
there.
We would have told her. I mean,
Let's-
or we would have
Would you
remembered
have-
that we had
would
the
you
Yeah.
locket.
You all would have
Yeah.
remembered that
Yeah.
she took it. You all saw this locket.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as we would have been walking out all together, Shark would have said like, "Oh, Twinkle Toes, if you return that locket to her, she will give us quite a reward. Maybe you should use your charm to squeeze as much out of her as possible."
What locket?
The one you hold, it's in your left hand.
It's around her neck already.
Yeah, you're wearing it.
I don't know what locket you're talking about. I tuck it into my shirt.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, we could split a reward. It'd be worth quite a few gold pieces, and it's just a trinket to your,
I wonder what's in the locket.
What was
Probably-
in the locket again?
probably a
If
family.
you open it, there is writing on the inside. It is engraved, but it is written in Minkayan. So unless you speak or read Minkayan,
Let's decipher that before we give it back.
That's
yeah,
a skill check.
I'm
I
gonna hold
believe.
on to this.
I don't like that woman, and therefore I don't want her to be happy, and therefore we can keep this. And I don't care.
That's where I'm at. as
it's up to you guys.
well. Yeah.
Shark doesn't care enough.
Feeling slightly vindictive.
I mean, I think
I
it'd
can
be
tell.
worth
Twinkle
Well,
goes,
it'd be worth it
tucks
for
it
both.
into her shirt, ignores Shark, and keeps walking.
Okay. Shark doesn't care. at all.
I'm really feeling the fact that all of you have hated every single NPC I've presented to you except Isabella.
I mean, she did illegally exploit workers and then give us hush money. We did take it.
Excuse me.
You took
Scarix
it
and I have a
so
good
willingly.
relationship.
That's a
so willingly.
Astro still likes Eunice. I don't know about the rest of you guys.
Scarix and I have a great relationship.
Eunice.
I miss
Dude.
Rusty. Honestly, I miss Rusty a lot.
Eunice is still
Eunice is
wearing a
gonna be
little
the book one
apron
boss.
and is
He's gonna be a
brooming.
book one boss.
Twinkle Toes gets along great with people who aren't in authority.
I think Penumbra gets along really well with people who, are star bears and, don't walk Galarian. That's my kind of people.
Anyway,
All right, the doctor says, I think it would be best before we pursue this what's his name, German Hoff person, if we were to to rest.
Who?
I'll explain later. Let's find somewhere to rest first. We're in a bit of disarray here. Let's
Are the Goblin
will
Brothers
admit-
trekking all the way back to the puddles in the middle of the day?
Let's get a room in the inn. Do we?
Yeah, I mean, we have free. Wait, do we have free lodging at the inn from saving it?
So
We haven't stayed there.
the place that you saved, if you're talking about the Tipsy
That was a
Tango,
bar, not an inn.
Tipsy
is a
Tango.
bar. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
You can find lodging. That'll be roughly
25 gold
a
pieces.
two-person room. It's gonna be 3 silver for
Oh,
24 hours.
Does Twinkle Toes?
Twinkle Toes.
Does Twinkle Toes'
Isn't-
apartment have any more room?
Right. Isn't your place nearby?
Twinkle Toes is kind of tapped out at 3, I think.
It's like,
Shark is walking home. He is not gonna
honestly,
stay somewhere.
yeah, honestly, you know, when I invited Bastro to stay and talk to Forsyth, I didn't really consider the fact that they were so big. So it's
You're
a
half
little,
an apartment.
it's a little squeezed in there. They have to duck everywhere. So could they go
Gotta
stay
crawl
with
out the
you?
door.
Actually,
Honestly, crawl.
Our apartment is.
Doctor,
just
would
a
you like to
small
split a room
designed
somewhere?
for goblins.
Shark just says no and continues walking.
I don't really want to go to the puddles. I don't know.
I think
about
we should
you.
just sack today, right? Like today's done. We should just go rest.
Okay.
Come back in
Yeah.
the morning. And
Um,
move on.
I think
Yeah.
we should go talk to Isabella. I think we should go close that chapter.
Look, man, I don't want to walk over to the puddles and then have to take an Uber out to the Tipsy Tengu. The surge pricing is gonna be ridiculous. We have to Uber home. It's a whole thing. I
yeah,
just
but
wanna go.
if you leave at 3, it'll be normal pricing.
So now I gotta stay till after the bar closes. Like I gotta like hang around a pizza place afterwards. Like that's not what I want to do.
There's a good falafel place across the street.
Wait,
You
you're
know, I could
going.
go for a good falafel actually.
You're
That-
trying
that
to go
sounds
to the
not bad.
puddles now instead of going to the Tipsy Tango right down the street.
We can't sleep at the Tipsy Tengu. We have to sleep in a different
No,
place.
why are
You
you
can see
going
if
to
you can
sleep
get the private room and just camp out in there.
Just sleep. Bring a
Why?
sleeping bag.
Why are we trying to sleep right now? It's 1:00.
Because
Well,
they want to
anyways.
level up.
I need my spells back.
I want my level up.
Yeah, I'm at 11 hit points of now 26.
Oh.
If we go
God,
talk to Jeremy Hoff and he's got bodyguards.
Cry me a
We're
river,
not
mister.
gonna
I
go
heal
talk
myself
to
I
more
feel
now.
like
We're
an
gonna
idiot.
go talk to Isabella. And
Right, we should report
go
back.
sleep.
That's fine. We can
Finish
definitely
the
roll.
day's work before we go call it
We can
in
talk to Isabella.
and get a
Isabella
Is she
is
gonna be at the Tipsy Tengu? Is she gonna be at?
at the Tipsy Tango.
Yeah.
Do we know how to
Uh,
Oh,
find
yeah,
her?
where do we- do
I
we
thought
know-
she was like on a mission, like doing her own thing.
She basically told you that if you go back to the Tipsy Tango and she's not there, somebody
She's
there
dead,
could
go
get
find her.
in touch with her.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so like
That's-
one of us goes and sends a message to Isabella that like we solved the kobold thing. We're gonna go find them in Cayenne's at German Hoff's office, and then we all sack the day.
Yeah, Bellbury knows how to get in contact with her. But like, it's gonna, that's if she's not there.
Oh, Penumbra also needs to pick up his scrolls. From that
Oh,
guy.
let's do that first.
There
From
are
that
some scrolls.
guy.
There are some
Let's
scrolls
go-
left.
Let's go get your scrolls, Penumbra. Let's do that first.
Yes, I quite want my scrolls. I'm sad I didn't have them before.
Now you're gonna have to be very honest with me about what you purchased.
No, I remember. Yeah, and I
Because-
remember specifically I already paid for them.
I don't remember. You did already pay for it, but I
Yeah.
don't remember what you purchased.
Three
Can't
level 1 scrolls. I have already received the level 2 scroll that I paid for, so I will now just receive the other 3.
Yeah, I believe it was a ray, wasn't it? It was a necromancy spell.
It was Fear, Spirit Link, and Red Enfeeblement.
Yes. Yeah, he didn't have any of the necromancy spells prepared for obvious reasons.
Shark picks up reagents while they're out.
Okay.
We have an
Yeah.
80s style shopping
Go
montage.
pick
and
up
then we love-
her.
You can
her-
actually get that at Crazy Merida's, the alchemical reagents.
Okay, I
It's-
picked them up
yeah, it's an
there.
alchemist shop. So.
Twinkle Toes needs to get her rapier too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But that's gonna be tomorrow, actually, not today.
Oh, okay.
And can I try another attempt to identify the magic on the Great Pick? We never actually did
I
that.
thought it was a +1.
It's a +1.
Somebody
We
got
already
it.
did
Yeah, it's a plus
Somebody
one.
got it? Okay.
Yeah.
I got it, I think.
That was confirmed. Yeah. Oh, right. We spent like 35
It's just a +1. I mean, which is really good at level 1, but it's a +1.
amazing. Yeah.
And I believe Dr. Forsyth is wielding it, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trained or I'm proficient in martial weapons, and I realized I actually could use this as my weapon because even though my strength sucks, I can do my devise a stratagem
and use your
Yeah.
intelligence
attack
for
with
it.
it. Yeah.
And then
Which
if
is
you
so wild.
and then if you crit with it, you just do stupid damage.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you should use it.
All right, so you all head
Oh,
to
yeah.
all head to Marvin's. You pick up the scrolls. Shark grabs some alchemical reagents. Marvin's like, "Hey," and then you get your stuff.
Oh,
Hey.
Thank you for my stuff.
I asked him if he has any healing potions in stock.
Healing potions, man. I think we got like 3.
Minor, lesser.
And like as you open the door, whereas it was normally hazy last time, it looks like he hasn't had a customer all day, and just this, as you open the door, a plume of smoke just kind of exited.
All death flay leaf.
I forgot.
Don't say we don't like any of your NPCs. I love Marvin. Marvin's my boy.
Like,
Marvin's Meredith's
two
nephew.
2 minor, 1 lesser. Yeah. And he like flips through like a little notebook that he has on his desk. He goes all the way to one end and then starts flipping back the other direction. Keeps
The
flipping.
pages are all blank.
Take
There's
them
nothing
all.
written on any of the pages.
I would take all 3.
Yeah, you can just pay market price for that. I want to say it's like 50 and 75, but I could be wrong.
No, it's 4 for the minor and then 12 for the lesser.
I'm thinking
It's
Pathfinder
your
1.
first edition.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
my
I
first
guess
edition
these
pricing.
25, 50.
I was
Oh my
like, that
God.
should be 20 gold total.
We don't even want to get started on gold economy inflation in Pathfinder first edition.
We do not.
Yeah, it's just market price. And yes, Gray, Marvin is Merida's nephew.
Nephew.
Can I find a place to sell this orc knuckle dagger that we found? It's very shiny.
Marvin will buy it,
Okay.
but for like 50% of its actual value.
Then no. Why would you even ask this?
Isn't that what everything
Everyone's
is
gonna
for?
buy it for 50%.
So like 40%. It's like, yeah, man, that's pretty cool, but like, I don't got any
No,
cash on me.
I'll find like a guy who'll sell just for.
It's like I don't got any cash on me. As Twinkle Toes hands him gold for the potions. It's like, do you take Apple Pay, man?
I can hold on to it for a bit. I don't need to sell.
Only for Charlie Brown.
Yeah, you walk past 6 people who will pay you the appropriate price for it. So
Okay. And this wand of command. Do you want this? There, Bastro?
I'll take it.
I don't have a use for
Oh,
it.
I can't cast things.
It's
I
very
keep
bad.
forgetting that
Command
I'm
is
a
not a
caster
very
every
good
day.
spell.
It's enough. I'd argue, but
when
yeah,
it's
I'll
good,
take it.
it's really good.
Yeah, I don't want to be responsible for it.
I'll take that one. Hell yeah.
I'm so not used to not playing a caster. It's very. It's
so not
very
used to
good.
playing a caster.
Who's popping off to? Is everybody going to the Tipsy Tango? Is it just one person you're sending to send a
I'll
message?
go.
What are you guys doing?
The doctor's going to.
I don't feel like we all need to go.
Twinkle
Yeah.
Toes at least would be going.
Okay, which
I think
means that
Gobbo-
Bastro and possibly Dr. Forsyth are also going.
The Gobos will meet up with you in the morning.
Yeah, we're
Alright.
heading,
Fine,
we're
yeah.
heading home.
Go get some rest.
Goodbye, everyone. It's
You
been a
get-
pleasure.
Day's work.
To the Tipsy Tango. It's now about 5:00 early evening, and it looks like kind of like the dinner crowd is just starting to filter into the Tipsy Tango. But Bellbury, eager as ever to see you all. Oh, hello, Twinkle Toes. It's so good to see you again.
Belvery, it's so nice to see you. How are you today?
And what can I help you with today?
We're actually here to meet Isabella. We finished. our
Oh, you
talk,
just missed
so-
her. If you'd come straight here after you done with your task at the Dragonfly Pagoda, you would have seen her. But you had to go shopping.
Hmm.
No,
Oh,
she's not here
God.
right now, but I can take a message for you.
All right. Yeah. Well, we finished up at the Dragonfly Pagoda. We rescued those hostages. We talked to them, and we have some information for her.
Well, I'm
so
just glad to
we'd
see
love-
that you're safe.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that we are back and safe and get to see you again.
All right, well, I'll get somebody on it. And she's like,
Oh, can I get a drink too?
she calls Leslie, and you see the same girl like run around the side of the bar. You still see like tear stains down the side of her face. She's like,
Wait, what?
now Leslie, I'm gonna need you to go. I know it's your first day back, but I need you to go.
Sorry.
I need you to go and find Isabella.
Wait, what?
One of them being Kayan hostages?
And Leslie's just nods her head and runs out the
Wait,
door.
Really? Will, is this real? Is this really happening? Is this...
I just thought it would be funny, but you
Oh,
know, if you want to question it,
Leslie keep being tasked with these horrifyingly dangerous things.
if you just want to no butt me, that's fine.
Leslie is the third hero of Absalom. I'm convinced.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
You're 3/4 of the way to an entire hero of Absalom.
Yeah.
We've got was Eunice, right? Eunice is one of the
Eunice
heroes
is
of
number
No.
1, Isabella's number 2, Leslie is number 3.
Leslie.
Makes sense.
We're almost there, ladies and gents.
We're gonna need character art for these guys for when we actually become the real.
We've
party.
almost hit
Yeah.
the titular points of this adventure.
No, guys, Isabella is my backup character.
Yeah, Eunice is my backup character.
Leslie rolled up.
Backup character.
I bet Leslie rolled up 8.
Daniel's taking levels.
Oh,
Oh,
you
that
cut
was-
out entirely there.
Unfortunate mic cut out right there.
That's a
Let's really hope that that's on the Audacity recording.
I mean, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, dude, nice.
Oh, yeah,
maybe-
good one.
Maybe the
Nice.
people listening to it on the podcast.
Yeah. So she sends one of her servers out, who apparently knows where to go, saying that you all. I'm assuming you set a time for the next day.
Hold on. This is now canon, not one of her servers.
It's
She said Leslie.
Leslie
It
is
was
one of her
very clear.
servers. That's what I said.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's canon now. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
canon.
but, don't disrespect her by just saying she's one of her servers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well, she's
it's
one of the
like-
servers. You see the
she's
rest
like
of the
at least-
hostages also with
Leslie.
trays.
She's at least
All walking around.
She's at least holding.
They've got to hold 2 jobs in this economy, okay?
At
They
this
immediately quit their
establishment.
work at the Pagoda.
They've missed
and
2
went to
days of
work for
wages,
the
man. They got to
bar.
pick up the extra shifts.
Traumatized.
They're all
That's
crying.
restaurants. You have a life-changing trauma. I expect back 3 shift at 9:45.
I'll tell you what, I've watched that reality show.
I'm sorry, but if you're late to your double, you've got to pick up extra shifts.
Coming to
Gotta get
Netflix,
it.
spring 2021.
I would watch that reality
Tip out
TV show.
first, you
I
know,
would say
because
we would tell Isabella to come meet us tomorrow.
Yeah, are you guys setting a specific time?
Yeah.
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 Breakfast,
Oh, I'm not
lunch,
there.
dinner,
I assume
brunch,
they are.
9
Strike a
a.m.
blow.
11
9
Z's,
a.m.
noon
Right.
tea,
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Tea time.
Okay.
Oh, what's some tea? That sounds
So you all disperse to your various locales. Goblin brothers are already deep into the puddles, almost home by the time this conversation even happens. But Twinkletoes heads back to her apartment. Forsyth and Bastro, what are you all doing?
Are we not invited to Twinkletoes?
That's what I'm trying to figure out
Oh,
here.
did you want to, was it not too uncomfortable for you there?
I can sleep anywhere. I'm very
I assume Bastro slept in worse. Yeah.
Dr. Forsyth, what about you? You have your own place, don't you?
Yes, it's a complicated situation though with my place. However, I do want to go back there tonight to pick up some supplies. We've been getting into a lot of combat-related medical situations, and I
Alright.
don't have.
Do you need help?
Good night.
Is Dr. Forsyth just like dipping into his prepper stash now that he's like fighting every day?
Well, yeah. So no, not that. But he to like
Kansas.
to like flavor justify him taking the medic archetype. He wants to spend some time to really like dedicate to like getting specific like combat focused medical stuff.
Sure.
Because he's a doctor that's used to like operating rooms.
Yeah,
Not
you've-
like, oh my god, on top of a second story half finished Dragonfly Pagoda patching people up, you know. So
Yeah,
You know,
you've
that
got a
keep
go
going.
bag trauma kit in your closet that you keep forgetting to grab, you know?
yeah.
Foam
So,
spray that like the military uses that like can just instantly seal gash wounds and stuff like that. Like, that's
Right.
No, that's too magical, dude. That's way too magical for Dr. Forsyth.
I mean, it's genuine science. I'm just gonna go on for.
Not Galarian
Twinkletoes-
science, bro.
Twinkletoes,
Genuine science.
Twinkletoes, will ask Bastro if he wants to listen to her rant about how much of an ass Dr. Forsyth was.
You know what? Sure, why not? I'll let you vent, and I'll go with her to her place.
Bastro's a good friend.
He's a good friend.
Just a supporting person, you know.
Twinkle-Toes, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
That's cocked. 4. It's towards the end of the night, and I still have 2 hero points. I'm gonna spend one of those.
Spend them.
Can I spend a hero point on my level up to get something different?
No, that's better. 19.
That's just
There
good
we
economy.
go. Good economy.
Yeah.
As you're heading back to your apartment, you you don't live in the best neighborhood. You live in a good enough neighborhood. And there are a number of seedy folk that you're used to. You're not uncomfortable where you are. You generally feel like you can handle yourself. But tonight, you notice that after about 5 or 10 minutes post when Xavier split off from your group, you notice that 2 figures seem to be following yourself and Bastro. After your like 3rd turn on the way back home, you realize they're still following you. They're about 20 feet behind. They're not making like a huge, effort to be stealthy by any means. But you notice that they've now been following you for like 10 minutes. What would you like to do?
I whisper to Bastro, let's take a walk to somewhere with a bit more light, shall we?
Bastards just unaware. He's just like, yeah, sure, I guess.
Okay, let's go this way. I try to find somewhere better lit than the alleyways.
Yeah, I mean, without walking like 20 minutes to downtown, you're like in the residential area. There's lights, but there's not like street lamps. There's
I just want to
various torches and...
I want to get to a place where I can get a better look at who these...
Go ahead and roll another perception check. I mean, you're passing like, like cooking fires and torches and various things that cast light.
Can Bastard roll too?
After being told, yeah, you're able to. Yeah.
That was only...
Hero point. Fuck it.
Yeah, should I rolled
the same thing.
I rolled a 7 on the dice.
Oh no.
I'm getting great hero point economy today.
I'm gonna... Should I spend the second hero point?
That's what happens when there's no combats.
Yeah,
How
I'm
do you
gonna spend my...
decide?
Oh, I'm sorry I was not hitting you enough this session.
Hey!
I'm not
I'm
complaining.
very
I just said that's what happens.
What'd you get?
19.
19. They look to just be kind of rough and tumble folk. They're both human. They look kind of sleazy, kind of greasy. They both got like longer hair, like scruffy beards. But one thing that you do notice, they're not wearing like any kind of uniform or anything, but you see a patch that is embroidered on their like leather vests, or their one has a vest, one has like a jacket. You see this patch. It's a black patch with a emblem of a hand, a palm face out on it, that is in like this copper color.
Do I recognize it?
Go ahead and roll a society.
Okay.
Hand? Still got a hand?
It is a palm out hand.
It's gonna be a 13.
A 13?
Yeah.
Unfamiliar. You feel like you, with how recently you got back into town, you just haven't had enough of a time to scope out the lay of the land to know every single, street gang and various organization, especially since a lot of stuff
But
has
it's
like.
not like this is the emblem of like the Alamar house or something.
No. It's not familiar to you.
Okay. I'm gonna whisper to Bastro again. What do you say? I think we're being followed. Do you want to go to an inn instead?
Do you not want to confront these two?
It's just
Following them?
two of us. They look a bit big. I wish we had a bit
Maybe
more
to you.
backup for that. True.
It's up to you. If you don't feel comfortable speaking with them, I'm more than happy to walk into a bar somewhere nearby, an inn.
Let's head towards an inn and see if they keep following us.
Sure.
Roll a
what we're
perception
gonna
check, Twinkle Toes.
Okay. 19.
Wow.
Total?
Yes.
Unfortunately, you don't notice when during this conversation that they managed to slip away. But you have this conversation, you glance back, and they are gone.
I don't know where they are. Let's circle a few blocks. Let's just do the couple
Sure.
blocks.
Before we do that, Bastro wants to send Peter up into the sky real quick, and then he wants to share senses with Peter, and with his dark vision, he wants to see if anywhere around them that those two figures are. So I guess that would be a perception check.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Nice.
Peter's a dove, right? Like a white dove.
Yeah, the white dove. Yeah. That's a 15.
15. You do, after a moment, notice the two figures from above. However, due to the fact that you are currently sharing your senses, you have this kind of out-of-body experience as you see them rounding a corner near where you are currently standing with Twinkle Toes. Twinkle Toes, you see the two round the corner about two, not blocks, but two streets up from you.
I draw my main gouge.
One of them says, "Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is Eliana. I recognize her. Didn't think you'd be
Excuse me?
coming back here, love. Shouldn't have. Not a good look, love."
Sorry, I don't know who you think you're talking to.
Eliana, come on. You think we'd forget a face like yours? And that's where we're going to end it for this week.
What?
Oh, what?
What's going on? I'm confused.
Wild.
Crazy.
One
During that time, Bass was just staring into space because he's sharing his senses.
Checks out. Looking,
Warring down Game of Thrones fan.
Yeah,
watching it from the dove's perspective.
The dove goes, "Oh no."
Thank you, everybody, for joining us this week. Once again, we are not going to be streaming next week, but we will return January 3rd, 2021. Here, same channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all so much for joining us through these 10 episodes of Heroes of Absalom, and hopefully many more
10?
come. 10.
Wild,
This was
right?
the
This is our
end
10th
This is the 10th.
session.
of
Yeah.
the 10th episode
Milestone.
of 2020.
10!
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Don't forget to follow us here and Twitter and Instagram.
Happy holidays.
And we'll see you. Happy holidays. Safe holidays.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you so much. Have a
Happy
good night.
holidays!
Have a good night.